Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is September 6th, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Cincinnati Reds, game number 3 in the set. And hopefully we can end up getting a dub. We have, at this point, played terrible within the first couple games, and we do not want to get the brooms out of 3 games before we end up playing the Rays on Friday. Oh, let's go Mariners. Let's go over the starting lineups as well as the thumb, and the countdown to 20,000 subscribers is still on. We have 67 subs to go to hit the magic number of 20,000. And we will end up doing a giveaway of a jersey or something of that nature once we end up hitting that number. And hopefully we can get a few subs even tonight. Jerry in the building. What's good? No, we're gonna bounce back. We're gonna get the dub today. We've already had disappointment for 2 days. We're not gonna have disappointment for 3. All right. So obviously, game 1, we had Julio Rodriguez and L.A. De La Cruz. And then game 2 on the thumb, we had Julio and L.A. De La Cruz. And I decided, hey, you know what? It's a trifecta. Why don't we do L.A. De La Cruz? But we're going to go with Logan Gilbert. We're going to go with one of the pitchers. And hopefully Logan can end up getting 8 to 10 Ks today because we're going to fucking need it, all right? And I put in all new photos for the Mariners. So this should give us some good luck. I have been, using some of my favorites, and I have a few of each player. But I figured, you know what? We've been in a slump. Pitching has been bad. Hitting has been bad. But then when the hitting got good, then the pitching fell off. Then the pitching got good, and then the hitting fell off. Can't we just have good pitching, good hitting, and a good bullpen for one game? And so hopefully with these new photos, it'll get us there. Leading off for the Mariners, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Let's go. I like that photo right there. Batting second, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Batting third, big dumper, catcher, Cal Raleigh. Batting fourth and playing cleanup. You already know who it is. Right fielder, Teoscar Hernandez. Batting fifth, playing left field tonight, Dominic Canzone. Batting sixth, third baseman, Eugenio Suarez. Come on, Gino, we need you. Batting seventh, first baseman, Ty France. Batting eighth, DHing for Seattle, Mike Ford. And batting ninth, second baseman, Josh Rojas. And on the mound for our Mariners, Logan Gilbert. Let's go, baby. 12-5 record with a 3.56 ERA when it was just about a month and a half ago when his record was 4-5. So to be able to get 8 wins off a 4-5 record is pretty fucking incredible, if you ask me. Let's go, Logan. We're going to need you. We're going to need you to bring out the emotion and the fire, and maybe we'll even get a throwback performance back when you were in college. Let's go, Logan. We're going to need you, baby. 8 to 10 Ks is really what I'm hoping for. And let's get into the Cincinnati Reds with their epic comeback on the Mariners yesterday. Leading off for the Reds, DHing at the leadoff spot, which is very unusual, Jake Fraley. Batting second, center fielder, TJ Friedel. Batting third, second baseman, Spencer Steer. Batting cleanup, shortstop, phenom, L.A. De La Cruz. He's the man. Batting fifth, first baseman, he's playing left field today, and we saw him pinch hit yesterday with a 3-run homer when we were up 6-3 to tie it up 6-6. He got his spot in the lineup. Nick Martini. No drinks for you, young man. Batting 6, playing first base, Christian Encarnacion Strand. Batting 7th, catching today for the Reds, Tyler Stevenson. Batting 8th, playing third base, the former Mariner product, Noelvi Marte. And batting 9th, playing right field, Will Benson. And on the mound for the Reds, 0-1 record with a 6.75 ERA compared to Logan Gilbert's 12-5 record with a 3.56 ERA. We're talking Lion Richardson. Let's go, baby. Our time. Can't get swept. I mean, especially with so many critical games. We're already falling behind in the division. And then the Astros and Rangers are playing each other. Astros are beating up on the Rangers. We don't want to be looking up at the Astros, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Astros or the Rangers take over our spot, and they already did pretty much. I want to make sure we can try our hardest to get it back. Let's go, Mariners. Everyone is having a fantastic Wednesday, and we are on the NFL kickoff eve of the Chiefs and the Lions, and I'll be doing that tomorrow, so I can't wait for that. Interesting. I'm not sure if that's the smart move. I already know that they have a few other guys like Witherspoon, as well as Jamal Adams that are out game one, or at least that was the case from a day or two ago. But if he feels that he's healthy enough to get out there to help you guys win, you guys are playing the Rams, so you guys can win without him. But hopefully, you guys are being cautious with his injury. Now it has been, it has been, it's been tough, but we have to go, through the adversity. This is what it's about being a Mariner fan. It's not all peaches and cream. You should know that. Sarah in the building. What's good? How are you? Derek in the building. He said, shout out to my Cubs. They're starting to get hot. Shout out to you, brother. How are you? Let's get to 100 in donos. Let's do it. NC Jolly said Travis Kelsey was my first pick, man. Yeah, Reflect, who's a big Mariner fan, who's in our league, picked Travis Kelsey, I think fifth overall, fourth or fifth. So it's tough. So you want to make sure that you end up having a backup of some kind. And a lot of people that typically, pick Kelsey, Kittle, and Andrews, sometimes if you're smart, you'll end up, getting a backup. Sometimes you just hope that they're going to be able to be the guy the whole year. But it's always a good piece of advice, no matter if it's Kelsey, Andrews, Kittle, Goddard, Waller, TJ Hawkinson. Always make sure that you have a backup for almost every position when you draft. I mean, if you end up, having maybe one position that you don't have a backup for, that's fine. But, it is usually the smart case to have at least one backup, and then you can make adjustments after the draft if need be. So we'll see what happens. But hopefully you end up having a backup. Do you have a backup for Kelsey that you drafted, or did you just draft Kelsey and you didn't even pick up a backup tight end? Because I know a lot of people that pick Kelsey, they're like, oh, he'll be good. He barely gets hurt. He's only missed like 3 games in 9 years. So it's not like, he's injury prone, and he's been the best tight end for like the last 6 years. So it is what it is. Even though we've had Mark Andrews and Kittle have their moments over the last few years, it's been pretty substantial kind of separation with Kelsey and everyone else in the tight end position. So big facts. Let them know. Let them know. Daniel in the building. What's good? How are you? I'm going to put on a little background music here while we just wait. Especially if things are going to a commercial break and whatnot. You got Kittle on your bench right now, and Mike Williams as my flex. I'll change him if. Okay. Oh, good. That's good to hear, man. Good to hear. I'll be like I said, I'll be covering a lot of Seahawk games, Niner games, Saints, Eagles. Obviously the Buccaneers are terrible and they're tanking. So I'm not going to go out of my way and do streams for a team that's tanking. Obviously, I'll end up trying to do a few Buccaneer games here and there, but I usually just watch them. And then if I end up being on Monday night, Thursday night, or Sunday night, of course I'm going to do the game. But I'm going to try to do a lot of college and NFL reaction videos to help us gain subs and gain some ground. So, instead of doing like 3 live streams on a Sunday, I'm not going to do that. The most I'm going to do is 2, like a morning game, then do reaction videos from the morning games in the afternoon. Then obviously do Sunday night football. After that's over, do some reaction videos. Then Monday morning, reaction videos until Monday night, reaction videos on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we'll be back on Thursday. So I feel that, with some of the live streams, depending on the matchups, it may be worthwhile to do like maybe 2 or 3 games on a Sunday, but I feel that we'll gain more ground if I end up doing a combination of the both. So let's go, baby. And then Cooper Cup sounds like they were trying to say, well, he's only going to be out for about a week, but now he might end up on the pup list or on the IL. And there was some rumors circulating with some of the NFL, storytellers that possibly Cooper Cup might be out for the first month. So I know a lot of people, have been picking like Kelsey, Cooper Cup and Jonathan Taylor, but you're not going to get nothing out of Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Cup if that story is true for 4 weeks. So imagine if you drafted those guys early. I mean, you're pretty much fucked. But with Kelsey, hopefully he'll end up being back, within a week or two. But it could be a little bit more serious than people are saying. It could end up being something where he may, be out for a couple weeks, maybe up to a month. But, we'll see. Because if you end up coming back too early and he re-aggravates it, then he's going to end up being out for half the season or possibly the whole year. And obviously, if the Chiefs want to win the Super Bowl and go back to back like Drake, you're going to have Kelsey. So we'll see how it goes. But, Kelsey's injury with the hammy looks like it is more serious. And obviously, hamstrings are tough to recover from. You can't come back too early. We know when Cooper Cup is healthy, he's one of the top 5 or 6 wide receivers in the league, even if Stafford's getting a little bit older, just based off targets and route running, at least for fantasy purposes. But as far as overall, I'm not sure if Cooper Cup overall is a top 5 receiver anymore. Maybe like, number 4, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there. But it is what it is. Run DMG in the building. What's good? But that's why I stayed away from certain people, like Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Cup, even though I had some intrigue. If I could pick them up late, just as like insurance, just throwing them on my bench, not worrying about them. But I just wanted to stay away from a lot of those guys from the very start. So, all right, here we go. First pitch from Richardson. JP pops it off on a first pitch swing. Damn it. One away. I didn't want to see that. Come on, JP, work the count. JP Crawford doing exactly what I did in the photo. He just swung on it right away. Come on now. Next up, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. We need you, baby. 2 homers last night, which was awesome, with Teoscar as well. But we're going to need a lot of support today with obviously Logan Gilbert hopefully getting 8 to 10 Ks. And if he doesn't and he gets 5 or 6, hopefully a lot of cheap ground outs and pop-ups to help us out here. Let's go. Thank you for Cyberpunk and Sarah helping out on the Twitter X side. Thank you very much. Top of the first, 0-0. Reds and Mariners. 0-2 pitch to Julio. Pitches outside. 1-2 count. Yeah, that Rangers-Astros series, there was a lot of anticipation. Obviously, today, pitchers, a good pitching duel. But also, I don't think anyone anticipated the Rangers losing that bad. But the Astros are starting to kind of get hot. And like I told y'all about a month and a half, 2 months ago, even when we ended up taking over the division lead, I think there's only one team in the American League that can match up to the Atlanta Braves if they end up making it to the World Series. And it's not the Rays, it's not the Orioles, it's not the Rangers, it's not the Mariners, it's not the Blue Jays. I'm a Mariner fan, but I'm not stupid. I definitely think the Astros are the only team based off their experience and who they have, that they could actually win 2 or 3 games against Atlanta, and maybe the only team that could win against the Atlanta Braves if they're the team to represent the National League is Atlanta. If the Dodgers go over Atlanta, then anybody can win in the American League side, to my opinion. Because I don't think the Dodgers are as good as they were in years past. But if it's Atlanta, it's going to be the only team that's going to be able to beat Atlanta is Atlanta. Kind of like when the Warriors had Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond, KD, and obviously Steve Kerr, as the head coach. It almost feels like Atlanta is built so strongly. As long as they don't have any major injuries to Strider, Matt Olson or Acuna, then they probably are going to win it all this year. But again, that's why we play the games, because we want to, see if there's going to be any upsets or a special team like the Phillies that come out of nowhere. Let's go, baby. Yeah, the Braves can slump a little bit here and there, but look at their record, look at their staff, look at everything that they got. A couple games here and there. I mean, it doesn't matter. The Braves are built for long-term success, and this is going to be the first year of probably 4 in a row where they may end up being the best team in the National League and being the favorite to go to the World Series every year. I mean, obviously the Dodgers will be up there as well, but the National League does not have the depth like the American League. We got about 6 teams that legitimately could probably go to the World Series or the ALCS. On the National League side, it's really the Dodgers and Braves, and then maybe a surprise team. If it ends up being the Phillies or the Brewers, fine. But, I mean, I don't know if I see it this year. So we'll see. Top of the first, 2 outs, 2-2 count. Cal Raleigh in the box. Richardson on the mound. Come on, baby. Pitches low and outside. 3-2 count. Come on now. Nothing from JP. Nothing from Julio. Let's go, big dumper. Let's go, baby. Full count, 3-2 pitch. Pitch is inside. There we go. We'll take that. Any way that we can get guys on, we'll take it. Nice. Cal, the first base. Fucking love it. Let's go. Next up, right fielder, Teoscar Hernandez. Let's go, Teo. Yeah, Seahawks will destroy the Rams, 100%. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Teoscar. He's been super hot lately. JP, Julio, Teoscar. It's like you almost can count on all 3 guys. Oh, Teo. Yes. There we go. Nice little bloop single to left field. Woo. Let's go. The heater continues. Pretty amazing to see someone that it took 17 at-bats to get his first hit, which was like 4 games. And then I started thinking to myself at the beginning of the season, what the fuck did we do? Why did we give this guy so much money? And then now, after the All-Star break, now you realize that's why we brought in Teoscar Hernandez. There we go. Next up, left fielder, Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. And Dom usually plays right field, so we'll see how he does here today. But if Cade Marlowe is struggling, it makes sense. Dom to the left instead of right field, Julio in center, and then right field Teoscar. That makes the most sense. Routine play to first, and we leave him stranded. Damn it. Oh, yeah. And I think at one point the Mariner fan base was split. He had like the most strikeouts in the American League. Him and Gino were kind of going back and forth. And it's like, come on, these guys are talented and they're pretty good at defense, especially Gino. Teoscar is above average at right field. But it's like, give me some hits, give me some home runs. And obviously Gino's still slumping. But with Teoscar, I mean, how many games has he like helped us win with his defense and obviously with his bat? Many, many games he's been a big contributor, and 100% Teoscar needs to be re-signed. We cannot afford to let a guy like that go. And he was really the only good signing we had. Colton Wong, the Wong move, right? AJ Pollock got dumped around from team to team, and now he's like in the farm system for the Dodgers. Pollock was garbage. Never should have signed him. Wong was like good at defense, but he couldn't hit, so it's like we didn't really make the right moves, and you got rid of guys like Winker, and I get that, you want to get rid of some guys to bring in some newbies, right? But the really only good piece was Teoscar Hernandez, and I agree with this statement right now. Teo needs to be re-signed. Absolutely. All right, let's go with the Reds and who they have up. But I hope we don't lose because I won't lie. As soon as that loss ended, I was like, oh man, that's like I need to go to like get a beer or go to the dispensary. Like I got a headache from that game. Like the Mariners, when we're struggling, it doesn't put me like in a depression mode or anything like that, but it gives me a little bit of a migraine and a headache when we end up blowing games like that. And I ended up going for a long like hour walk with Paisley. But things ended up getting better after that. You always have tomorrow for another day. All right, leading off for the Reds, DHing up the leadoff spot, Jake Fraley. Nice beard. Batting second, center fielder, TJ Friedel. And the most underrated player on the Reds that's not named Votto or De La Cruz, it's second baseman Spencer Steer, who's pretty much leading almost every category for the Cincinnati Reds. I see you. Let's go, Logan. Takes the first pitch strike. That's a good sign. And I got some old school photos of him at Stetson, obviously in college. Fire. He still looks the same. And then I need to see this kind of emotion from him today. And then one of my favorite photos right here. And they're wearing the blue right now as well with the jersey. So this one's very fitting. Let's go, Logan. And I'm really proud of him, because if you were in like a depressional mode or have anxiety or you're just not having fun playing baseball, he started off the first couple of games okay. Then he hit a big slump, and that was like 4-5. And his name was circulating with Teoscar Hernandez that they were going to get rid of him. Right there we go. Okay, right off the bat. And they were saying, well, maybe we're going to get rid of Teoscar. Maybe we're going to get rid of Logan Gilbert. And then Sarah's like, oh, the Cardinals want him. Yeah, I imagine they do. But I'm really proud that they did not bite and go for those type of hitters. No disrespect to the Cardinal hitters, but it's like these are the guys that we need. They're cornerstone pieces, right? And he turned it around, and then he went from 4-5, 4 wins, 5 losses, to 12-5. I don't think anybody, even myself, could have predicted that. So I'm very proud of Logan, and he might not be our number one pitcher anymore, and then he went to number 2 when we brought in Castillo last year. Now we have, Kirby, and we have, Bryce Miller. So maybe he's the 4th best, but he's probably the best number 4 pitcher in fucking baseball. I mean, name another number 4 starter that's got a 12-5 record. I find it hard to believe you're going to find one. That's facts. Sauer in the building. Oh, you're good. You're good. Oh, big hit right down the line. I don't know. What did you say on the stream? I don't even know if I saw the comment. Uh-oh. Wow. All the way to third. Fucking triple. Are you kidding me? I don't even think I saw it. I mean, I know we had to boot out a couple people, but other than that, and you're good. You're good, bro. Like I said, we're going to get Astro fans. We're going to get haters. Like there's people that left comments, afterwards, go Astros, and, hope the Mariners lose every game. And I mean, I don't expect anything more or less from an Astro fan talking shit. So, you're going to get people that talk shit all the time. It is what it is. And as we get bigger and bigger, there's going to be more trolls and there's going to be more haters. I mean, that's just the bottom line, Megan in the building. What's good? Obviously, that's good for you because you drafted the Niner defense, so that should make you very, very excited. And obviously, I spy on everyone's team, so I know exactly what you have and what you don't have. I'm always spying on everybody. So if you are a fantasy football fan or you're playing in a league and you drafted the Niner defense, hoping that Bosa would re-sign, before the season started, you got your wish. Now he's the highest paid. Now the Chiefs just have to do it with Chris Jones. But if you do have Niner defense, you have a big sigh of relief because obviously a Niner defense is typically up there with the Cowboys and the Patriots and the Eagles. So when you end up not having Bosa, it's like the Steelers, like with Sarah as well. You don't have TJ Watt, your defense isn't going to be good. If you don't have Bosa, you'll still be good because there's still like Talanoa Hufanga and there's a few others that can make plays. But let's be honest, Bosa is the best player on that defense. So I imagine you feel much, much better with the signing. And they got a lot of payroll. That's big facts. It's all good. It's you got to be able to stand up for the Mariner fan base and for me or anyone talking shit directly towards us Mariner fans or you or me personally. We got it, bro. Right over his head. 1-0 Reds. Shit. Yeah, he's worth the money. Like I said, I cover the league as a whole, and Joey Bosa and Nick Bosa, these guys are Hall of Fame players. And when you have a Hall of Fame player, you pay the guy. Absolutely worth the money. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, too. So. No, you don't. No matter what you do, you don't. See, that would be a horrible move. That would have been an amateur move by you if you would have dropped the Niner D. Because the thing is that even if Bosa's out for a couple games, the Niner defense is still going to be one of the top 5 defenses. So these are little things that you need to be able to read up on. You need to be able to watch more film and read more. And if you don't read and you make, like kind of like rushed decisions, you're going to end up dropping valuable pieces that someone else is going to pick up like me, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. So, there's certain pieces on your team that you're not going to drop. And the Niner defense is something that you're not going to drop all year. If you're going to drop a defense, you would drop the other one, which I believe you have, the Cleveland Browns. The Browns defense is definitely droppable at some point or another if you need to. But if it was me, I always try to keep 2 or 3 defenses so that way you can flip-flop based off matchup. Especially if the Niners have a tough matchup with a really, really good offense, you may have a better matchup with, the Browns or whoever your secondary defense is. So it's all good, Sour. It's all good, my brother. Yep, Amon-Ra's good. Amon-Ra is good. Nice job, Ty. Ella De La Cruz. At least we got him out 1-0 Reds. But again, when you get a triple right out of the gates, and like I said, one of the most underrated pieces on the Cincinnati Reds that is not Ella De La Cruz or Joey Votto, who was hurt, came back, got hurt again, right, is this Steer kid. And obviously he's leading almost all the categories with like home runs, average, and RBIs. So if we end up getting, doubles on us, triples, and home runs, and it's from him, well, we should already expect it. The guy's pretty fucking good. So, but obviously with the lineup now, we just have to minimize the damage from De La Cruz and Steer, the 3 and the 4 hole. And if we do that, we'll be fine. We just got to make sure that fucking Martini don't do what he did yesterday. Go for a 3-run blast as a pinch hitter. Big swing and a miss. Yeah, you have to look long term, though. Like I said, I know a lot of times if you are looking at short term, fantasy, sometimes the pieces are long term and you hang on to them. And you have to understand fantasy is value. So just because maybe a defense doesn't give you value this week, you have to look at the whole schedule and hang on to certain pieces because certain pieces are going to be valuable the whole year. You have to be very, very careful when you pick people up and when you drop people. Fantasy is about value, not if you like the player or don't like the player. This isn't my favorite team or this or that. Like, it's all about value. That's how you end up winning championships. Yeah, I did see that. Kittle is injured, though. And now we have Kelsey and Kittle injured. So it looks like my boy Mark Andrews, even though he's a little bit questionable as well, he might end up being the number 1 tight end now. Since those two have a little bit of setbacks. So hopefully Kittle will be okay. And I remember I had a choice between obviously Kittle or Andrews. Kelsey was already off the board. Sarah got TJ Hawkinson after Reflect got Kelsey. So at that point, I'm going to go Mark Andrews probably 9 times out of 10. Now there is more boom typically for, George Kittle. He'll end up getting more touchdowns, right? But I think as far as consistency, you're going to get it more out of Mark Andrews week in and week out. And I look for consistency guys as well. So we will see. How's it going? How are you, man? It's been rough. Like I said, it's either we have really good pitching, right? Or we have really good hitting, but we never really have good pitching, good hitting, and a good bullpen. And obviously, with those relievers. And it just sucks, when you lose 2 out of 3 to the Mets, and we should have swept that team or won 2 out of 3. Now we're on the brink of getting swept by the Reds. And then not only that, we're going to have to play the Dodgers and then the Rangers and then the Astros. It's like, this is not going to be a very easy stretch, but it's going to test us. Maybe we're getting a little bit tired and whatnot, but at least if we make the playoffs, if we don't win the division, fine, but we got to make sure that we don't slide all the way down where we actually don't make the playoffs at all. Depending on what happens with the Rangers and the Astros and the Blue Jays and the Orioles and the Rays, we need to make sure that we're focusing on ourselves. So hopefully we can end up getting it done. But how are you, bro? What's good, Jeff? I miss you, dude. Are you going to be working tomorrow? Because I know my mom has got a little bit of an operation that she's going to have with her eye, and I am going to be around that side of town tomorrow. I'm going to have the pup with me, but I was planning on stopping by Petco right there by the Safeway to try to get a couple things, a couple toys and a couple things for Paisley, my pup. So if you're going to be there, I might end up stopping by inside that Safeway there. Top of the second, 1-0 Reds. Little chopper. Gino needs to freaking heat up. He's been absolutely terrible in the box. One away. Oh, yeah, Blue Jays are definitely still in the race. Absolutely. You can never count that team out. Like I said, the Blue Jays, the Mariners, and the Orioles are all kind of the same. We're all kind of hungry. We're all new, and we're all trying to get to that spot, where some of the upper echelon teams have been for a while, like the Astros. Come on, Gino. I got a new photo of you even in the box, and you still didn't get a hit. Next up, first baseman Ty France. He's been hit by more pitches than any other player in baseball, and hopefully he doesn't get hit today. Come on, Ty. Let's go. But obviously, if you remember, pitching was good at the beginning of the year, and then the hitting was at like 230 as an average, right? And then now the hitting, started to get a little bit better, and then the pitching is disappearing. So it's like it's very hard for us to have that balance, So yeah, but again, where there's plenty of time with these designations in fantasy, Megan, when they have them, you can have doubtful, you can have questionable, but obviously things can change because every day at practice, there could be a different designation. So, until you get closer to the actual game day, then you'll be able to see. Just because it says questionable on a Wednesday, if they play on Sunday, you're fine. So, you're going to be there tomorrow? Okay. Yeah, because if I end up going there, it won't be. What time do you get off work? Because I know you get there early. You get there like at 5, 6 a.m. and you're usually out around 2 or 2:30. So I think I'll be there probably around lunchtime. So I'm not sure what time you take your lunch, but I'll figure it out. I'll stop by and say hello. Yeah, and like I said, once you start learning more about the league, like, you have to understand Waddle is a player that you never would drop under any circumstance unless he's injured with an ACL and he's out for the year. Because if you just start, getting all trigger happy and grabbing guys from the wire and then you get a guy and drop a guy, get a guy and drop a guy, you're gonna start at 10th and you're gonna finish at 10th. There's no way that you're going to end up getting any higher than that if you have that kind of strategy. There's certain players that are elite, and no matter what happens, you keep them. Either you start them or you put them on your bench. And that's the whole purpose of having a fantasy draft is getting the superstar players in the draft because there's no way you're going to get a guy with that kind of talent on the wire. So, but again, this is your first year playing, so you have to understand, kind of the unspoken rules of fantasy. So 10:30 to 11. Okay, I'll be there probably after 11:30. So after you get back from lunch, so I'll probably end up being there. 3-2 count. Count is full, fouled off by France. 1-0 Reds. Good to see you, man. Just grinding, and we're getting closer and closer to the 20,000 subscriber mark. So I'm doing the Mariner streams. Obviously, it's been helping us out. On top of doing reaction videos, and I'll be doing a lot of NFL and college football as well. So. Padilla in the building. SI, how are you? So if the Mariners lose today, you're going to cry yourself. Shit, I think almost all Mariner fans are going to do that as well. There we go. We are going to win today, though. We're not going to get swept by a team like the Reds. No disrespect, but, I mean, we're the better team. So we're going to find a way. But, again, sometimes when we play, morning games, we're not good. Early afternoon games, we're not good. On the road sometimes, not good. And we haven't been able to put a performance together of elite pitching, elite hitting, and elite bullpen. There's always something that fucks up. And it seems like right now that some of the hitters have been hotter, JP, Julio, Teoscar, but some of the starting pitching in the bullpen has been terrible. So it's like, golly, can we just get – I mean, if we can't get all three, hitting, pitching, and bullpen, at least for the love of God with the sports gods, give us 2 out of 3. Don't just give us 1. Like, okay, you're going to have hitting, but guess what? Your starting pitching is going to be ass, and then your mid-relievers and closers are going to be worse. Oh, great. Thanks a lot. We're trying to win the division, and we're trying to do something, so. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm still very positive and optimistic. So let's get to 100 donos and let's get those likes up, obviously, on every stream. And like, sub, and donate if you can. Let's do it. Let's go, baby. And we've gained over 100 subs, just within about a week and a half or so, which is more than we've gained in probably a month, month and a half, 2 months, just with the addition of me, obviously breaking up with the ex, being able to have more time doing reaction videos. And obviously, the Mariners' success up until recently has helped as well. You're going to get either more people rooting for the Mariners, people that are betting on DraftKings and other the betting sites and wanting me to help them out with bets and whatnot, or just pure haters. Pure haters that are Astro fans or Ranger fans or anybody that just wants to hate. You'll get the trolls and get the haters for sure. But I guess the bigger that we get, we have to expect that. People just, not happy with their own lives and just wanting to talk shit because that's what they do. There we go. Mike Ford, back. Gone, baby. Let's go. Yes, sir. Mike Ford with a 2-run blast. Thank you very much. And I actually looked at a comparison with him and Carlos Santana, and his numbers are better than Carlos Santana's was last year. And Santana was great, down the stretch. But I really like what we're getting from Mike Ford, and that was a fucking blast. 2-1 Mariners. And also, the magic number for every Mariners stream, even people that don't follow the Mariners, I've said it a million times, the magic number is 5 runs or more or 7 to 10 hits. When we get 5 runs or more or 7 to 10 hits, we win 90 to 95% of the time. When we don't get to 5 runs and we don't get to 7 hits or more, we lose 90 to 95% of the time. We're not that elite team in 1-run games like we were last year. At one point, we were like 15-5, 20-5 record in 1-run games. So what a great start by Mike Ford to be the guy to set the tone. Let's go. Reflect in the building. What's good? Sauer in the building, who's a big Mariner fan. Reflect in the building, big Mariner fan. Jeff, my boy, obviously, I would love to always go to Petco and Safeway all the time. And obviously, it's nice to be able to build friendships about something that we have in common, like the Mariners. Jeff is a big Mariner fan as well. And hopefully, as we get further and further along, we're actually going to get more diehard Mariner fans because, let's be honest, I am the only one that streams the Mariners live play-by-play and reactions full time. There is no one else that does it. And there's a lot of people that do content, but again, calling games is the hardest thing to do. There's a reason why I think a lot of people are kind of intimidated by it because you really do have to read, watch film, and prepare. Like I said, doing the NFL is one thing, and the NFL is an oversaturated market, and a lot of the big boys get a lot of the views, and I get that. But we're on the cusp of being one of the big boys. And I know it might be a little difficult, but that's why I got to put my hat in many things to be able to kind of make up for the difference. So let's go, baby. Let's give the Reds a beatdown today. Yes. Oh yeah, keep me updated on USC Kraken and Hawks news. Absolutely. So earlier, that Jacob came in and said that JSN is Jacob is right there. So he just was mentioning that JSN is suiting up for Week 1 more than likely. Witherspoon and Jamal Adams are not. So I am actually a little surprised that JSN is playing. If it was me, I would probably sit him for a week. But I know how exciting it is to be able to play like your very first game. You're going to beat the Rams regardless if he plays or not. Hell, you could probably win if Geno wasn't even quarterback against the Rams. That's how good their team is. So definitely excited to see what happens. And I would assume that the Hawks will, and especially no Cooper Kupp. So that's like what? Van Jefferson and a few other guys. It might be very embarrassing. Like, I don't really know what the final score is going to end up being. It might end up being a little bit closer than people think, just depending on if the Hawks have some turnovers. But if the Hawks play Hawk football, they should win by at least 10 points or more, but hopefully like by 14 or 17 or 20 or something like that. All right, popped up and out. 2-1 Mariners. He's not going to play Week 1. So if you have Kelsey in fantasy, I hope you have a backup. There'll be a few guys that you can look at. Juwan Johnson from the Oregon Ducks, Sam Laporta from the Lions. Obviously you could pick up someone like that. You're gonna want to make sure you have a backup. But with Kelsey, I don't think he'll be able to play. And with that type of injury, with the swelling, he may be out 1 week or 2 weeks, or as much as 4 weeks. It could be up to a month. It just depends on how they want to treat him and how his body reacts to the rehab. And so we'll have to kind of wait. It's not season ending, but for anyone that has drafted, reflect, and it looks like Jeff, obviously drafted Kelsey in fantasy as well. You're going to have to look for other options. So if it was me, I would probably have 3 tight ends, especially if you have Kelsey. So that way that you can alternate back and forth just in case, that Kelsey doesn't come back for a week, 2 weeks, or possibly up to a month, depending on the severity. Because if they, rush him back after missing 1 week and they play him week 2 and then he re-aggravates it, then he's not going to be back until probably like week 8 and maybe not even that soon, depending on how serious it is. So even though it's not an ACL, MCL, or PCL tear, you have to be very cautious with hamstrings, with hammies like Cooper Kupp, as well as any kind of swelling or, twisted knees or any type of, swelling in the knee overall. So that would be my advice. Go pick up a couple tight ends on the wire if you can and give yourself a little bit more flexibility there. That's what I would do. Good man. And that's who I have. And I waited for you to put in the waiver wire, right? I waited for you, and then I waited for you a little bit more. And I had to pick up Laporta, because like I said, I need to make sure that my tight ends are good too. But, when you didn't pick them up and I know you're just waiting on the Kelsey news, I'm going to take advantage. And I play you week 1, so if I can take away an option of a guy that might end up being a starting tight end in a piece this year, then, I have to make a move. And Daniel Jones got the cut, and then I had to pick him up, because I might end up using him this year. No lie, no cap. So now I have Mark Andrews, Juwan Johnson, and Sam Laporta. I usually like carrying 2 to 3 defenses and 2 to 3 tight ends, regardless of who my starting tight end is. But I have to. Yeah, I'm playing you week 1, right? So what is Daniel Jones going to do for me on the bench? Nothing. Right? Do I need a backup quarterback to Mahomes? Yes. I would have loved to have Kenny Pickett, Jordan Love, or Jared Goff, like, Sarah got, but again, sometimes you got to go for other positions. But I know you need a tight end. I need it for depth. And nothing was put in. So I had to make that educated move, as a fantasy football champion in the past, to block you, but also to give me depth because, for a starting tight end to be sitting there still, and it's the Lions and Goff, and you got to think Jameson Williams isn't going to be coming back until midway through the season, so it's going to be a lot of Amon-Ra and Marvin Jones, and Gibbs and Montgomery, right? But you're also going to be able to get the tight end utilized. How much does he get utilized? We don't know yet, but it was worth the gamble for me to block you. And then not only that, to possibly use him and evaluate him with Juwan Johnson and Mark Andrews. So I tried to give you a fair chance to pick him up, but since you didn't, I was like, yeah, I have to make the move. Because I need to do it to block you, and I need to be able to do it for myself. So I apologize, but again, there's other tight ends on there that you can end up picking up. So, I got to do what I got to do. Fantasy's on the line, right? You got to do what you got to do, baby. All right, one sec here. Called out on strikes. There we go. Good job, Logan. I think that game made everyone heated. Let's be honest. Mariner Moose comes out for Logan Gilbert, and the magic number for Logan Gilbert will be 8 to 10 Ks. If we get that, or if he gets 5 to 6, a lot of ground outs and pop-ups. But so far today, it looks a hell of a lot better than Wu and a hell of a lot better than Bryce Miller, or George Kirby. I don't know. Our pitching has not been good as of late. And our bullpen has been absolutely atrocious. We've been absolutely fucking terrible. I saw the stat last night. That was kind of alarming, but, it is what it is. No, I feel you. I feel you. Let's get to 100 in donos. Let's do it. Go Mariners. Yeah, I'll probably try to, like I said, I'll probably try to swing by tomorrow. And then after this game, we got the day off. And then we play the Rays on Friday. Only one team in the American League has 3 players with 25 homers this year plus, and that is the Seattle Mariners, Teoscar, Cal Raleigh, and Julio Rodriguez. We're definitely taking care of business with those 3. But the Mariners bullpen coming into September, counting yesterday, 5 games, 16.1 innings pitched, 12 earned runs, 10 walks, 12 Ks, 21 hits, and 6 home runs, which is dog shit. That is fucking terrible. So hopefully we can rebound from those stats. Every game in the division is a trap game. So even though it is a trap game, no Cooper Cup, a very, very big youth movement, on that 53-man roster. I think they have 14 rookies that are going to be playing. So there's no excuse. I mean, if you guys lose, then it's the Seahawks' fault. It's Pete Carroll's fault, Keno's fault, the defense's fault. There is no reason to lose that game. With the youth movement, I mean, the Rams might end up being one of the top 5 worst teams in the NFL. But with that being said, could they still beat the Hawks? Yeah. But if the Seattle, Seahawks end up playing, hawk ball and they don't turn the football over and they have a good run game, defense plays well, it should be a blowout. But again, certain games can be trap games for sure, but the Rams and Cardinals should be very, very bad this year. I mean, the games that are going to be very heated are going to be those Niners-Seahawk matchups. It's going to be just like it was when you had the Legion of Boom, and then they had Kaepernick, Patrick Willis, and Navarro Bowman. It's going to be that kind of vibe with both of your guys' teams for like the next 3 or 4 years. It's going to be very, very critical. Let's go, Logan. Logan Gilbert, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks. And then Richardson, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 1 K. Let's go, baby. Bottom of the second, 2-2 pitch, 2 outs, 2-1 lead. And I got to switch it up from that. And then we get out of that inning. There we go. All right, I got to get out. That stream was fucking up. So I need to find something that's going to be better. Here we go. Plus, I'd rather listen to the Mariners than listen to the Reds. The Reds broadcasting crew is fucking terrible. It's like I know sometimes people are like, "Oh, Sims," and some of the people that and Aaron and Dan Wilson, and like people are gonna bitch and complain and whatnot. But I mean, if you listen to some of the other teams' announce crews and broadcast booths, not everyone is great. There definitely is some that are better than others. Come on, motherfucker, why are these not working? Come on now. I don't want to have any lag. I don't want to have any issues here. All right, there we go. Looks like this one might be good. And I'm glad Logan Gilbert got out of that inning there. Gilbert pitching for Seattle. Marte lined out to center. Stevenson struck out swinging, and Carcion Strand struck out looking. So that's always a good sign with the K's. I mean, he's already got 3. Let's go to the top of the third, and we got to be able to continue putting the pressure on the Cincinnati team. We do not want to get swept. Like I said, for me, I end up typically doing more moves, than most people. Like, the average person in fantasy is going to do about 50 moves or less. I typically do 100 to 250. Now, sometimes I'll go back and forth in the middle of the night when I'm awake by myself, and I'll go, okay, I want this guy. And then I look at some stats or watch some film, and then I pick another guy that's on the wire. And then I go back and forth a couple times. So sometimes that'll add up my number of moves because I'm indecisive. But sometimes, we have to kind of go that route. So the first thing to do is come in here, right, and say hello, not just coming in here and talking shit. You know what I mean? Those people will learn. You might be able to do whatever you want on other streams, but we don't put up with that bullshit here. All right, I'm not so desperate for subs and views and donos where I'm going to have to take people coming in here talking shit. You can go talk shit anywhere else, okay? But you ain't talking shit in here. You can at least come in here and say hello. Let us know who you are, what your name is, who you root for. And then if you want to talk some shit after that, that's fine. You know what I mean? You can't just come in here. It's chat etiquette. Know your role and shut your mouth, Cooper. There you go. And you get the Hollywood Hogan boot. I imagine a lot of people are pretty surprised when that shit happens right out of the gate. But, you know, if you're going to treat me with disrespect, then you're going to get it right back. I don't need to put up with that shit. Little chopper. But it is kind of funny how most YouTubers just put up with everything. You know, they just will put up with any type of comment, any type of shit talking, any type of behavior. You know, it's like chat etiquette don't exist. So, and 99% of the people that are like that never sub, never donate, and never like the stream. You know, it's just, you know, talking shit. So, you know, we don't need people like that anyways. Top of the third, 2-1 Mariners. Oh, a nice little error by De La Cruz. I like that. Let's go. Pretty rare to see De La Cruz make an error. There we go. $3 holla. Someone's got to get it started at some point or another. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, another error. There we go. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $3 holla. 97 to go. Let me know what you want to see for photos, and I got you. Appreciate you. All right, no worries. Talk soon. Come on, Dom. Chop foul. And we got to make sure we take advantage of opportunities. But again, remember, as the Mariners play, when we have one guy on, we're not good. When we have guys on first and second, we're not good. When we have guys on the corners at first and third, we are not good. We're only good when we have bases loaded. So if we end up, you know, not getting RBIs and runs when we have any of those other situations like this, then you end up getting a double play, and it's terrible. But that's what happens. Damn it! Not surprised. You know, it's like as soon as you get one or two guys on, you start feeling pretty good about yourself until you hit into a double play, and that's exactly what happened. So that's why I already kind of see things coming that way. You know, I've been watching this team for a long, long time, and you know, history tends to repeat itself. Unfortunately, you know, sometimes it ends up being something negative, not positive. All right, leading off for the Cincinnati Reds in the bottom of the third, right fielder Will Benson. Batting second, DHing for Cincinnati, Jake Fraley. And batting third, center fielder TJ Friedel. Let's go. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like I said, I don't mind, you know, having some friendly banter, you know, back and forth, you know, and whatnot. But I know how people's brains work, you know, and especially when you get these people that are non-Mariner fans, you know, or even non-Red fans, they just want to come in and stir the pot and whatnot. You know, either kids or adults, you know, whether they're miserable with their lives or they're just a shit-talking individual and whatnot. And like I said, you know, we'll decide, you know, on how things go. But again, I don't need people around that are going to be toxic just so we have an additional person in the room, you know, regardless if we have a little amount or a huge amount. You know, we want to filter out kind of the bad seeds if we can. So, you know, because obviously having good mental health is important. And sometimes, as you know, it only takes one person with a shitty attitude or a shitty chat etiquette to kind of ruin the whole vibe of a stream. So, okay, I got you. Is it bigger than the Oregon Texas Tech game? Who do you guys have? Oh, Iowa State rivalry game. Nice. What are you a favored by? Like 3.5. But you are 100% dead on because me and my dad would, buy and sell on eBay and stuff like that. Usually we're more buyers than necessarily sellers and whatnot. But yes, that is 100% true. I mean, even if we don't get to the ALCS this year or the World Series, I think that we will get there, at some point. And I do think that we will be able to win at some point as well, regardless if it's Shohei Ohtani or not. So, but I mean, imagine if we do get Shohei Ohtani, that will help a lot. That'll help our pitching woes and our hitting woes. And it'll give us swagger like you won't believe. Like, can you imagine those fucking jerseys? Like the tickets, the vibe, like it'll be probably the most incredible Pacific Northwest vibe ever. Like more than a Seahawk vibe, more than a Kraken vibe, more than the Blazers vibe or Oregon State. It literally will probably be the highest of the high as far as, just like a buzz, not only in just Seattle, but in Oregon and Idaho, Montana, Alaska. Like it's going to be like crazy. California, like the whole West Coast will be buzzing. And it's like you want to go to the Dodgers, you want to get the money, or do you want to go to the Mariners and take less money and be a fucking legend? Like, could you win a World Series in LA? Of course, you know what I mean. But you're going to be one of many, many legends: Koufax, Drysdale, going Oral Hershiser, Kirk Gibson. You're going down the line of all the legends, and obviously now with Mookie and Freddie, right? Clayton Kershaw. Or you want to be Seattle's legend with all the guys that we have with Julio. Shit, all the way to the wall. Motherfuck. God, why is our pitching such ass lately? Will Benson with a stand-up double. Nice job, Will. Next up, DHing for Cincinnati, Jake Fraley. Have you ever seen anything like that reflect where they have a DH lead off? Same thing with you, Sarah. Have you ever seen that? A DH leading off? That's very odd. I've never seen it in 2023 besides the Reds. And I've done a bunch of games. I mean, usually the DH spot is like fourth or fifth, not leadoff. But hey, whatever works for them, right? Wow, 2-0 on cards on Strider and on the Braves. Wow. Chop foul. And I'm an attention to detail kind of guy too. Obviously, as you guys know, stats, analytics, film. I'm always looking at all the little gray areas in sports and whatnot. So, bottom of the third, runner at second, 0-2 pitch to Fraley. He goes, Cal, safe. God damn it. Then he replays there. And Cal threw out two guys at second, which was the most that he's thrown out all season. So, I mean, even if we have to give up some players to get Shohei Ohtani, I think that we would be okay with that because obviously we wouldn't be giving up Julio. And if we had to give up some of our pitching staff or some of our hitters, I think most Mariner fans would be like, okay, I don't want to give up this pitcher or this hitter, but as long as it's not Julio or, maybe like George Kirby, like if certain guys are off limits, then I think it would feel pretty good about it. Or we don't have to really give up anyone. And if it ends up just being like money, but I think you're gonna have to end up giving up, money, and you're gonna have to give up players. So, but Shohei would be. I mean, he looked good in that All-Star, color, and that was obviously a Mariner color. So, I mean, it looks natural on Shohei. He looks actually better in the Mariner colors, like the teal and the blue and the white and the gray. I mean, no disrespect to the red, color and the white with the Angels with Trout, but it's time for an upgrade. Goldie hit a 2-run homer. Nice. Yeah, someone needs to look that up with all the details to see if if it's restricted, unrestricted, and if it's like going to be like a combination of just like money and he's able to go wherever he wants, or if it's going to be like they hold some kind of rights, so you'd have to give money to him, but then also you'd have to give compensation to the Angels. So obviously we have to look at the fine print. So, on the legalities of the contract. Because sometimes when contracts are up, then he's free to sign wherever he wants. But then sometimes there's like that restricted or unrestricted. So, or they can match the offer, kind of like not necessarily in MLB, but like in the NBA, they do that where it's like, oh, you're going to pay this guy 60 million, but we're going to match. A little different in baseball terms, obviously. Bottom of the third, 2-1 Mariners. Nice splitter. Got him. Back-to-back strikeouts for Logan Gilbert. Nice job, Logan. Got to hit you with the college photo. He's doing good. This is the best pitching performance that we've had in a minute. Like I said, Brian Wu has not been good. George Kirby hasn't been good. Bryce Miller hasn't been good. I mean, everyone's been getting fucking roughed up. So, I mean, they'll have their moments. Each pitcher has their moments, but overall, when you end up, losing the way that we did against the Mets, and the way that we're losing here, 2 out of 3 to the Mets and possibly getting swept by the Reds, when we're like at one point just about a week and a half ago, we were, 12, 13, 14, 15 games above 500, first place in the American League West. And now it's the closest division in baseball. Is it going to be the Rangers, the Astros, or the Mariners? Who the hell knows? But I know we're getting tired. That's for sure. We're kind of hitting a wall. And I'll get you some Iowa in just a second. 2-0 pitch from Logan. Takes a strike. Wow, 4-0 cards. On Strider, too. 2-1 pitch. Pitch is high. 3-1 count. Come on, Logan. I mean, Atlanta's probably thinking the same thing, too. Like, what the fuck is going on? The Cardinals? How the hell are we losing to them? But that's baseball for you. Steer. Wow. That was a ball. Called strike. 3-2 count. That was definitely not a strike. I don't know what the ump is looking at, but we got to keep it 100, so. Well, remember when I ended up doing that one game, then he walked him. Remember when I did the Strider game where I was looking to do like a game, I think it was like the Braves and the Pirates, right, against McCutcheon. And I was like, oh, cool, I finally get to, Mariners have the day off. Let me do this Braves game. And then they ended up fucking Strider up, and then he got pulled in like the third inning or fourth inning. So you never know with baseball. Like you could still end up being a Cy Young winner and then drop a game or 2 or 3 to like really bad teams that just get hot and play kind of their World Series kind of performance against you, even though it's a regular season game and the team is bad this year. But they bring their A effort, and it looks like the Cardinals are bringing their A effort to the Braves and Strider today. That's got to feel good. Like you already are frustrated with your team and you already kind of gave up, but it's always kind of cool to be like, all right, let me go back to this and see how they're doing. And then when you see them have success against arguably the best team in baseball, it's got to make you smile a little bit, regardless if you're making the playoffs or not, or if you're bad, I mean, if you're a fan of a team, you want to fucking win, regardless. Unless you're me and you want to get like first pick in the draft, or second or third, but. But maybe Michael Penix Jr. will land in my lap, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Maybe he'll be the third best quarterback, and if he can stay injury free, hell, I'll take him. And then also the report was with Caleb Williams and his dad. Pretty much, if the Cardinals are the worst team in at the NFL, he's not going to go there. He's going to pull like an Eli, or and say, nope, you're going to have to trade it, or I'm just going to go back to school. So. Obviously, the Cardinals are tanking, and obviously the parents and Caleb, they don't want to go there. The coach is terrible. Obviously, you saw what he did for the Eagles. He, defensive coordinator, he's terrible. He couldn't even stop them. And they're in a worse spot now than when they were earlier when they had Kingsbury. So, like, it's really not a destination. The Cardinals right now are a worse destination than anywhere else. Like I said, even the Panthers and the Texans and, teams that were at the bottom and the Colts, like every other location looks like they're getting better and is promising. But the Cardinals, it doesn't look like there's any hope there for a while. So That would be crazy. Little chopper, routine play to first, got him. Because if Caleb goes back to school, then who's the first pick in the draft? Drake May, and then who's the second pick in the draft? We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, yeah, and like I was thinking about doing a reaction video for the Drake May and whatnot, but I wanted to make sure I spent some time with Paisley and whatnot. And I got some unsettling news this morning from one of my friends that one of my friends died. So it kind of put me in a weird place this morning. So I just didn't really feel like doing the reaction video to North Carolina, South Carolina, or maybe doing the Florida State, LSU. I was going to do one or two, but after I got the news, and I took Paisley for like an hour walk, I kind of was feeling a little unsettled, with things, and I obviously can't talk about names or what happened and whatnot. But definitely, definitely was not good news to hear. But I'm okay. But anytime you have someone that is a friend that ends up passing, regardless of how they pass, it's not an easy thing to go through and whatnot. But yeah, I'll try to maybe do. I know I have to take my mom for a procedure, so I got to do that tomorrow. But if I have time in the morning, I'll try to do that Drake May. Maybe try to do at least one. You know, and I'm going to try to do a couple college football reactions each week, and then I'm going to try to do 10 or 12 of the NFL games every week on top of that to help us gain views and subs and whatnot. But as I was looking at the rest of the games, there really wasn't too many more that I wanted to do. Drake May, obviously North Carolina, South Carolina, and then maybe doing the Florida State LSU, but I already did a live stream for that, so I didn't really think that was really necessary. So really, I want to kind of focus on the quarterbacks, on the top tier ones. So it's pretty much Drake May doing like North Carolina reactions, Caleb Williams every week, as well as Michael Penix Jr. So and then maybe doing the Ducks one, when we're not playing Portland State, so that way I can at least have that and show the Duck love for Bo Nix and whatnot. So yeah, yeah, I'll be okay though. I'm a strong individual. Job Gino. Finally got on the board, baby. I had to change the photo and get a brand new one of him hitting, and it worked. He got on first, finally. Nice job, Gino. Next up, first baseman Ty France. Top of the fourth, 2-1, Mariners. This game is going by really fast. I mean, we're only an hour and 7 minutes in. There we go. Go, 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 Gino. Go, Gino. Go, Gino. Go, Gino. Yes. There we go. Ty France with an RBI. Let's go, baby. That's what we need. That's what we want. Yeah. Tino comes home. There we go. Ty France right down the third baseline. Absolutely wonderful. There we go. 3-1 Mariners. I got a couple Iowa things I'm pulling up here for you. Ford, fair, one away. Top of the 4-3-1 Mariners. Let's go, baby. And I got a couple photos up there for you. Little Hawkeye football for your donation. I appreciate you, Sarah. And I had to hit you with your head coach, too. Let's go. Big game. Iowa State this weekend. Let's go. Appreciate you. $3.97 to go to hit the goal. And we're on our grind for the 20,000 subscriber mark. Let me take a quick look to see where we're at. All right, 66 to go. We got a sub from someone in the room. So thank you so much. If it was someone watching on Twitter or X or someone that's in the room right now, thank you so much. 66 subs to go to hit that magic number of 20,000. And once we do, we'll end up doing a giveaway of like a jersey or, T-shirts, slides. I mean, we'll figure something out. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you. Reflect just picked up Tyler Conklin and dropped Hollywood Brown. Fantasy's a timely matter. There's certain guys that are there, you got to swoop them up. If you don't, I will. You best believe I will swoop them up. Top of the 4th, 3-1 Mariners. Runners on the corners on first and third with one out. Let him know. Pitch right down the middle for a strike. Come on, JP. Let's go, baby. We need you. Let's keep it moving. Fouls it off. 0-2 count. Runners on the corners. 3-1 Mariners. Already halfway where we need to be. We're not getting swept today. We are winning this game. Yeah, it just depends on how that offense looks. Where Aaron Rodgers, if he ends up trusting his tight ends and receivers, if he trusts you, you're going to get the ball. We already know Garrett Wilson and Rodgers are going to be phenomenal this year. We already know that. And then once Breece Hall and, Dalvin Cook, obviously we'll see what happens there with, the touches and whatnot. But anything after, Garrett Wilson is like kind of an unknown. We don't really know where they're going to go. But if there is a relationship, then that could be something there. But if you drop a couple passes, Rodgers isn't going to go back to you. You already know. You already seen how he played at Green Bay. Once you lose, he loses trust in you. You're not going to get the ball that much after that, even if you're open. So you have to run the correct routes, and you have to catch, the catchable balls that are there. If not, then he will look somewhere else. And fucking Garrett Wilson, triple covered, Conklin wide open. He's going to go to Garrett Wilson. So 2-2 pitch. JP fouled it off towards first base. Two-two pitch from Richardson. Chop foul. Let's go, baby. J.P. Crawford homered to right. Branson Rojas scored. 6-1 Mariners. Let's go. Let's go. I told you we weren't getting swept today. JP, Julio, Teoscar. Oh, my. Back. Gone, baby. JP has been fucking incredible. And I ended up getting a new photo for him today based off a home run. And what do we get in return? A home run. Thank you, sports gods. JP Crawford, electric. I like to see your leadoff hitter go yard like JP does. Let's go. 6-1 Mariners. Fuck yeah. And it shows you, we only had Jared Kelenic hot for the first like 50 or 60 games. We got JP, we got Teoscar, and Julio that are on a heater. Now, all we need is Gino and Cal to join the group, as well as getting Jared Kelenic back in the groove. So there we go. JP is having a phenomenal season, not just like an okay or good. Like we're talking one of the best that he's ever had, and he's a leader. And I'm really proud that we have him. He's been the best leadoff hitter we've had since Ichiro, like no doubt. Like he's going to go down in Mariner history as being like probably the second best leadoff hitter we've had in the last 20 years. Besides Ichiro, obviously Hall of Famer. JP's not a Hall of Famer, but he's damn good, and I really like him as a human being. I like him. Obviously, we see him do interviews, how he talks to the other guys to get them kind of focused. He provides good leadership. He's almost like a second manager out there, and that's what you kind of need. And, like I said, it's not just about how you play, it's about how you carry yourself. And I really love him. Julio popped up, 2 away. I mean, Julio, Cal Raleigh, Bryce Miller, George Kirby, J.P. Crawford. Those are my 5. But it also shows you when J.P. Crawford got hurt with the concussion, going into that, he was super hot. Then he came back from the concussion and he was super cold. But now he's got hot again. And it shows you when we don't have J.P. in the lineup, Julio sucks. Fucking Gino sucks. Ty France sucks. Everyone sucks when he's not leading off. Like putting Julio in the leadoff spot is the dumbest shit ever. It might have worked when he was a rookie last year, but he's just too swing happy for it to work for us now. So it's just nice to be able to have a lefty in the lineup. And on top of that, being a leader, he's not only the mayor, he's not only the president, he is El Capitan J.P. Crawford. Put that C on his chest, baby. Yes, absolutely. $3. Reflect with a tour. Thank you so much, man. Bang, bang, bang. Uh-oh. Back, back, back. Gone, baby. They said it was close, obviously, to the wall right there. Cal Raleigh with a home run shot. So, like I said, we only have, the only team in, obviously, the American League or in baseball, right? In the American League side, 3 guys that got 25 homers or more. Cal Raleigh, Julio, and who? You already know what it is. Teoscar Hernandez. There we go. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Right in between the dono process. Bang, bang. Let's go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Told you we're going to win this game. Anyone that had doubts, like I said, we might play bad, right? And we might have a hard time, and we lose 2 out of 3 to the Mets because we're on the road, and then we get smoked. We should have won yesterday, so it should have been 1-1, right? But there's no way in hell that we're going to have 3 bad pitching performances and hitting performances in a row. We're going to be able to figure it out, and here it is. And absolutely, they are not coming back today. 7-1 Mariners. $5 hairs. Let's get to a hundo. Let's go, baby. I told you we were going to win. For all the people, that were like, well, we're going to lose again. And Jacob was all, kind of depressed about it. Sometimes you just got to take a step back and relax. RELAX. Strikeout to end the inning, but damage was done. And also getting 2 home runs in an inning. Do you know how big that is? Especially for the Mariners, coming from J.P. Crawford and Cal Raleigh. And then yesterday we had 2 home runs from Julio and 1 from Teoscar. So it shows you everyone from 1 through 4 is doing their job. Now we need Dominic Canzone, Eugenio Suarez, France, to do their job. And even Ford has been homering lately. Rojas has been playing pretty good. So it's Gino, and Canzone now. Rojas, everyone else, needs to do their job. But I like what I see. Yeah, Los Bomberos has let us down, but I think that we'll figure it out. Absolutely. Yeah, Leon is garbage. Well, we're not going to make mistakes like that, so. I kept telling my buddies today too, you just got to relax. It's like it's not like where this is the Mariner team from 10 or 15 years ago, or the Mariner team that was from not last year. You got to understand, once we got Julio, Cal Raleigh, right, and George Kirby, everything changed. We actually have three guys that we can build around: a starting ace, right, a Hall of Fame outfielder on offense and defense and running the bags, and a really, really good catcher, someone that can improve on defense. But as far as home run power, arguably the best home run power hitting catcher in the league, not just in the American League, but in the league. No one has hit more home runs than Cal Raleigh since he came into the league last year. Think about that for a second. The guy is money for 20 to 28 homers every season. And honestly, he's going to get to a point where he hits 30 or more. I think he's that good. So that's pretty rare for catchers to hit 30 home runs. But if someone can do it, it's fucking Cal Raleigh. We just need to get his defense as a catcher up a little bit. But regardless, if we have Murphy and O'Keefe can go back to AAA, AA, single A. But once we bring up Harry Ford, right, and then have Kelenic, Robbie Ray, regardless if we have Marco Gonzalez or not, things are going to really be shaping up nicely for us next year and for this playoff push. Big facts. And once we get Kelenic and Murphy back, you'll see what happens. Let's go. 7-1 Mariners. Is that good? Yeah, I mean, it might not be this year. We got to crawl before we walk. First it's just like, going to the playoffs and winning a round. We did that against the Blue Jays. Now the next step is, getting to the, ALDS, winning that, and then getting to the ALCS and trying to win that. So it's like baby steps. But sometimes you just say, fuck the baby steps, and you just go all the way. But it's so competitive, you know? You got the Rays, right? You got the Orioles, you got the Rangers, you got the Astros, you got the Mariners, and even the sleeper Blue Jays. Like, you don't know, you know. It could be any of 6 teams that make it. And obviously, Mariners and Blue Jays, it would be, it looks like that would be very difficult, but it's not impossible. And then obviously on the National League side, it's the Braves and Dodgers and no one else. I guess if you want to put the Phillies and Brewers in there, but I don't know if they're good enough to handle the Dodgers or the Braves this year in like a 7-game series, but we'll see. I appreciate that. I mean, we've never been there before, so bottom of the fourth, 7-1 Mariners. And honestly, I feel that regardless if you love the Mariners or hate them, we're very likable. You know what I mean? Like just the way that we are with each other, the vibe. Normally you'll never meet an asshole Mariner fan. Like most Mariner fans are very smart. They're very educated. They're very passionate. We're not like other fan bases. So, but that does mean a lot, man. I've never really had anything against the A's. What is your take on selling the team and moving to Vegas or staying in Oakland? What do you feel about that run, DMG? And do you live in Oakland? Do you actually go to games, or do you just watch them on TV? My dad was a big fan of Canseco and McGuire, and Carney Langsford, Walt Weiss, Dave Stewart, Dennis Eckersley, and Ozzie Canseco, and like the old school teams when they played the Giants back in the day. With Kevin Mitchell and Will Clark and Matt Williams, back when the 2 California teams were incredible. But the Bash Bros, with McGuire and Canseco, I mean, who didn't like watching that? Everyone did. Knuckle curve. Logan Gilbert, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 Ks. On pace for 10, baby. I told y'all the pitching was going to step up today. And if I didn't think the pitching was going to step up today, right? Think about this. A lot of times I'll foreshadow what I'm going to be doing consciously or non-consciously based off my posts on social media, right? Or my thumbnail, right? Popped up. And that is the end of the 4th inning. So just look real quick. So when we ended up doing the very first game, right? What did I do? I went Julio Rodriguez and Elliot De La Cruz, right? It's a given. It's the first game. I want to try to, put the 2 best players on there. Then in game 2, maybe I should have did someone other than Julio, but I knew that he was going to have a good game. He homered twice. Then we got Elliot De La Cruz in a different pose and Julio, right? And if I was normally going to go that route again, right, I would have done a different player than Julio. I would have done a positional player, JP, Teoscar, someone like that. But no. I decided to do Logan Gilbert and Elliot De La Cruz for a reason because I knew he was going to have a good game today. And that 12-5 record is about to be fucking 13-5. Yo, boy, let's go. Sometimes you just know, and I knew we were going to end up dishing out some damage today. We're fucking money today. Let's go. Reflect, you got a particular player that you want to see with your donation, and I got you. Wow, I did not know that. AAA Farm Club in Tacoma, and McGuire played there. Wow. I mean, I remember McGuire on the Olympic team for like his rookie card and whatnot, but wow, that's crazy. Sacramento, Kirk Gibson, walk-off homer. Yep, yep. Oh, nice. Nice. I think that's like the one player I can't speak for all Mariner fans, but I don't really have a whole lot of love for A-Rod, just about who he is as a person. And obviously, not sticking with the Mariners. I already knew he wasn't, but the PEDs, the steroids, and obviously just kind of being money hungry. And then the type of person that he is outside of baseball. Not really for me, but he was a phenom coming up with Griffey and whatnot. But obviously going to the Rangers and taking the money, I understood why he did that. But I've never, it's the only Mariner player that I've genuinely disliked. I haven't disliked anybody in our franchise besides him. And I have as much hate for A-Rod as I do with like Altuve. I think those are probably the two that I hate the most. I don't know if I want to say hate, but dislike a lot. I don't like either one of those guys, and I never will. You know, and obvious for obvious reasons of the cheating. So look at that list of the outfielders. Teoscar at ninth. Center field, obviously Julio. Corbin Carroll. Yeah, definitely Corbin Carroll over Soto. A-Rod's a jerk, but you like him. Yeah. Well, also, if you got to see him play as a rookie, that was exciting. That was before he became a jerk. That was like when he was a promising, young man that had a lot of potential, and a lot of Mariner fans, including myself, were like, "Oh, look at this." Like you could tell that he was going to be a Hall of Fame type of player or a very, very good All-Star type of player. Based on how he looked in AAA and him coming up, like you knew he was going to be a good player. There was no doubt about that. It's like I had the same kind of vibe when I saw Jeter. Early on, I was like, this guy is going to be special. Like I just knew it. And then whether you watch him in AAA or early in that first season, sometimes you see little things that point to like, oh yeah, he's going to be a legend. And yeah, so I get you. What's your favorite memory? Did he actually go yard in that game? Do you have any memories from that particular game that you went to see A-Rod played his rookie season at Oakland Coliseum? Who are the best players on the A's back then? Top of the fifth, 7-1 Mariners. Little chopper for Suarez, foul. Come on, Gino. Chops it foul. And I had to be able to get some kind of photo of Gino batting. There's not a lot of them. A lot of it's like defense and him posing. But I was like, you know what? If I end up throwing up a batting photo, and even if it takes me like 20 minutes to find one, like it's going to help him get a hit today. And it did. Come on, Gino. Keep it moving. If anyone is overdue for a goddamn homer, it's Gino. 19-year-old was that great? Yeah. Well, obviously, you're a little bit younger than me, but I mean, I saw the same thing with King Griffey Jr. when he was like 15. I was like, I already knew what I was getting with him, and then I ended up meeting King Griffey Jr. Obviously when I was 7 and he was 19 at that point. So changed my life forever, man. Nothing will ever replace this moment in my life. Never, 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 never. I mean, it shaped me to who I am as a man today. No lie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could have met any athlete, Clyde Drexler, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, different players, in the Pacific Northwest, but nothing was going to be more impactful. Griffey was a trendsetter. I mean, hell, he was the first baseball player to have his own signature shoe. hat backwards. I mean, even to this day, Griffey is. I mean, I got the jersey on right now. Griffey is eternal. So there's not going to be anybody bigger. As big as Clyde Drexler was, he wasn't as big as Griffey. And Drexler was big, here in Oregon, like big, like bigger than Dame, even though Dame is like big, here now, even though he looks like he's on the way out to go to like Miami or whatnot. But, Drexler after Bill Walton was like, the biggest thing that we had since Bill Walton. And then, obviously Clyde was very likable, and obviously playing at Houston with Olajuwon, and then eventually leaving after losing in the 1990s to the Pistons and the Bad Boys, 92 to Jordan, with the shoulder shrug, and then ended up playing with Olajuwon and getting a championship there. Gino gets punched out, 2 away. Next up, first baseman, Ty France. Let's go, Ty. A kid. And like I said, if I didn't meet Ken Griffey Jr. and Sandy Koufax when I'm 7 and 10, I mean, I might not be, Northwest sports fanatics. Like I'm being 100% real. Like that was a, game-changing, life-defying moment. And also being 7 in first grade, and some kids are just like they don't understand the moment, like how big it was. I understood at that very moment, like what I was experiencing, even though I was 7. Because I ended up watching him in the minors, and me and my dad followed baseball like very hardcore. So, like my dad is a Dodger fan since the 50s. He watches every game. I mean, think about how many kids or adults that nowadays in 2023 that actually watch every single game. Not many, and obviously me and my dad are 2 of those kind of people. So Northwest Sports Fanatics runs deep. It's not just me, it's my dad as well. Top of the 5th, 7-1 Mariners. Ty Pete, he's going to be nice too. Harry Ford and Ty Pete, those might be my 2 favorite guys coming up, like with potential. So, the kid, man. Oh, another walk to Ty France. And then I've shown the picture like 1,000 times and whatnot. So here's the Griffey picture, obviously, and then I met Ken Griffey Sr. as well, and I posted that. But his signature was so clean, and there was other cards that were worth about $10 to $20. I had the Fleer, I had the Don Russ, I had the Bowman, but I liked this one just based on like it reminded me of the 80s and 90s of like windbreakers and the pink and the purples, and even to this day, the rated rookie. There's nothing better, and he actually took the time to sign it. Now, if Griffey would have scribbled it, and just like not cared, it would have bothered me a little bit. You know what I mean? Because like someone that takes the time to sign their name out means a hell of a lot more than someone like LeBron James signing LJ23. That shit is lazy. And I get it sometimes with the card companies, you have to keep a signature the same when you start, but to be able to have someone that took the time and cared enough about me at 7, to sign the name completely. And I've looked at thousands of Ken Griffey Jr. signatures, and I honestly have not seen a better one than this one. And this was from his rookie year. And if you've seen his signature, I have his autograph on a 8x10 color photo. I have an autograph All-Star Baseball. So his signature has been pretty consistent throughout his whole career. But to have a rookie signature look as good as this and to hold up over the test of time, pretty awesome. And then obviously with my memory with my dad and Koufax, that's my dad's hero. And, me and my dad's still alive, even though he's got diabetes and some health concerns, but we still try to go to, Dodger and Mariner games to this day. So good memories. Hell, I got my first, a Mariner ball, from Kike Hernandez when we ended up going to the Dodger game versus the Mariners in 2018. And then I ended up getting a Julio foul ball last year in his rookie year, and I got an Aaron Judge ball. So I've been to like 7 Mariner games, and I've gotten 3 baseballs. So I would say that's pretty good. But also, when I ended up going to the Portland Beavers, the AAA affiliate that no longer exists in Oregon, they were the AAA affiliate of the Twins back in the day in the late 80s, early 90s when the Twins were winning World Series. I ended up getting 2 foul balls when I was 10, and I sprained my ankle on both of them. And I ended up getting game-used batting gloves from one of the players when I snuck down to the front row. So getting memorabilia even started early for me as a kid. Getting gloves that I still have in a Ziploc bag from, 1992. And I got 2 foul balls from that year as well. So 1992, when I was 10 years old, that was a very, very defining moment for me. And not only did I get 2 foul balls and game used batting gloves, from a player that ended up hitting a grand slam, but then I ended up meeting Sandy Koufax that year as well. So from 7 years old, here meeting Griffey, to 10 years old meeting Koufax and having all those things happen to me with AAA. It was almost inevitable. I knew I was going to end up getting, Mariner or visiting player baseballs as long as I'm, keep my head on a swivel. I don't know. Sports gods love your boy, I guess, but Kike Hernandez, Julio Rodriguez, rookie foul ball, and the Aaron Judge ball when he went for 62 homers last year. I would say that's a pretty good trio. And then having Kike Hernandez go back to the Dodgers this year made it extra special for me and my dad. So, and I got a ball with each different person. So the first one I got with my dad, and I predicted that I would get that ball even 10 years before. I was like, you know what? When I go to the Mariner game, I'm going to slide past the grandma or grandpa, and no matter what, I'm going to get the ball. And then 10 years later, I end up going to the game, and who do I sit next to? My dad is to the right of me. I'm sitting next to two 90-year-old grandma and grandpa, and I did slide past them to get the ball. So I don't know if that time travel exists or ESP really truly exists, but that was really creepy. And then obviously told people on the channel I was going to get a Julio ball. I did in the 9th inning against the Royals when we played Bobby Witt Jr. In his rookie year in April. And then a couple weeks later, I said, hey, I'm going to the Yankee game. I'm going to get an Aaron Judge ball, and I did. So I don't know what the chances of that happening are, 1 in 20 billion, but it happened. And, I didn't get any baseballs this year. I went to go see the Cardinals in a 2-game set, but it didn't really feel like I was going to get one. I usually have a feeling if I'm going to get one or not, but definitely I would have tried for an Goldschmidt or Arenado or Jordan Walker or a Mariner player, but it just wasn't in the cards this year. But still, 3 in 7 games. I mean, I'm not fucking Zach Campbell. I'm not going to knock over any kids. And actually, I got assaulted twice out of the 3 baseballs. The Kike Hernandez baseball, a guy body checked me into the steps when he dropped the ball with his mitt twice, and I scooped it with my offhand, my left hand. Then he body checked me behind. My knees hit the steps, and my knees bled for 9 innings, but I didn't drop the ball. He was hoping I would drop it. I was like, fuck you. I ain't dropping that. You had 2 times to grab it, and you dropped it twice, right? And then the Julio ball hit the guardrail, and obviously bounced, obviously right to me, and I got that. And then the Aaron Judge one, I had that Karen, that cute blonde that was probably in her 20s. After she didn't get the ball, she turned around and screamed at me, and then she slapped my leg like hella hard. I mean, could you imagine if I would have did that to a man or a female? Shit, I would have got arrested, but I didn't get them kicked out. I get it. It's like you're a Yankee fan, and her boyfriend was there wearing a Griffey jersey. Her son was there wearing an Aaron Judge jersey like her, and her mom and dad were there also, But that's not how you act at a baseball game. I mean, she was acting like Aaron Judge was specifically throwing it to her and her only, and that no one else in the stadium existed. So sometimes you have to get a little bit of abuse, from other people. But I never throw punches. I never talk shit. I just, I'm in a good position, and if I end up getting the ball, I'm not going to push anyone over. And what's fair is fair, and if you don't get it, that's on you. I'm going to make sure I get it. So, yeah, I mean, I have all the. I wasn't rich enough to get the Upper Deck card that was worth like $50 to $150 when we were kids, but I have it now. So I have the '89 Upper Deck. I got the '90 Upper Deck. I got pretty much all. I don't know how many Griffey cards I have. Rookies like 50. You know what I mean? But the Upper Deck was like, that was the debut of. That was like he was like the face of the brand of Upper Deck. But I did have the Bowman, the Fleer, and the Don Russ. But I thought the Don Russ, he looked like a pimp. And I remember telling my dad that. I was like, Dad, King Griffey Jr. looks like more of a pimp in this one. I want him to sign this one. And my dad shook his head. He's like, yeah, this one looks the best out of all the cards. And even though the Fleer, the Bowman, and the Don Russ were all worth about 10 to 15 bucks, but I was like, I want this one signed. And I still have the card. It's on my desk here to this day. And even though that card is only worth now, since it's a rookie signature, about 100, 150 bucks. If someone offered me 500 for it, I still wouldn't sell it. It's just too sentimental for me. So. But I love the rated rookie Don Russ. Even to this day, when you see Don Russ and you see certain products that have that rated rookie logo, it's just, I don't know. It all stems back from, back in the day and, the 80s and 90s card scene, even though they were mass produced. I have a lot of love for the old school looks of 87 tops, with the wood grain, the Don Russ rated rookie, Upper Deck, 89, 90, a Fleer Ultra. you know. And some of those other cards that came out, Flair, Flair, which it was like the off-brand of the Fleer Ultra and some of the other stuff that came out. So it's just kind of cool to see where cards were and then where they went because it used to be just like Fleer, Tops, and then obviously you got into Bowman, and then Upper Deck, Leaf. Leaf was a big thing when I was a kid. Like Upper Deck, that shit was hella expensive, like the Frank Thomas rookie and whatnot. So nice little bloop there down third base. Benson for another double. Two doubles for Benson tonight. Nice job to him. All right, I see you, Will. Next up for the Reds, DHing for Cincinnati at the leadoff spot, Jake Fraley. Yeah, but my life changed overnight, meeting Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr., and then meeting Koufax when I was 10, and knowing that that was going to be like, a Hall of Fame player, like my hero. My hero is my dad and Ken Griffey Jr. And when I was 7 years old, I was like, I knew what that moment was. I knew even at 7 years old how big that moment was. And I knew that that was going to be probably the most defining moment of my life. Like one of I don't have any kids, so it's like I don't have childbirth to fall back on for a son or a daughter. I have a pup, Paisley, you know what I mean? But meeting Ken Griffey Jr. and Sandy Koufax definitely changed my life forever for the better. Popped up, Fraley, golly, Benson the third, 7-2, Mariners. And hopefully we'll end up getting some goats to come in and we can hit the cash app. Cash app has been a little light in the last few streams and whatnot. Donos in general. I mean, we did have that $550 dono day just a few days ago. So, of course, they're not going to be like that every day, but you want to try to at least hit the goal as often as you can, hit somewhere between 100 and 200 if possible. What are we at? Sub count to 20,000. We're at 66 subs to get to 20K. So if you are new in the room, please help us out, with a like, a sub, a share, a dono, anything that you can do to help us get to 20,000. There we go. Tags up, Benson, and he's in there easily. 7-2 Mariners. Seriously, and like for me to be able to meet my hero, and then for my dad to be able to meet his hero, what are the chances of that happening? You know what I'm saying? Get those likes up as well. I mean, all the algorithm stats help. So, like anytime we can get 20 to 50 likes on every stream, depending on how many people will have, it definitely helps the algorithm. Big facts. But if I had to do it over again, if I could meet anybody, Michael Jordan, or if I could meet Hulk Hogan, or, any of the people that I really like, Legion of Doom, anything, wrestling, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, I wouldn't change a thing. Griffey and Koufax, I would do it all over again. Big facts. All right, come on, Logan. 7-2 Mariners. Yeah. I mean, meeting Griffey is rare. There's not very many people. I mean, it might be one thing like in Seattle, at a game or at a card show, but you got to think like how many card shows did Griffey really do? Griffey didn't do a whole lot of card shows, especially early in his career. There were like a few to kind of like, get his name out there a little more. He probably did more card shows within his first 2 years in 89, 90 than he did the rest of his career. It was very rare to meet Ken Griffey Jr., at that time. And then also with Koufax, you'll see him at certain shows after he retired in, 1966. He played from 55 to 66, best left-handed pitcher ever. There's probably not been a pitcher that had a better 5-year stretch than Koufax from 61 to 66, with no hitters and World Series, MVPs and whatnot, and obviously putting the Dodgers on the map, obviously going against the Yankees and some of the other elite back then, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Mickey Mantle and whatnot, and striking those guys out and making it look easy. But Koufax was such a nice guy. Obviously, with him being a Jew and with Yom Kippur and not pitching, in certain games and whatnot. But I've always had a thing for both of those guys, Koufax and Griffey, and those are me and my dad's two favorites, and that will never change. So big facts. But I still remember that day very clearly. And like I told you, Reflect, at that card show with Koufax, Willie Mays was supposed to be there and he didn't show up. So if Willie Mays was there, I would have gotten his autograph picture with him. And then a little piece of me might have been a Giant fan. Not like a full Giant fan, but a Willie Mays fan. And I probably would have like Mitchell and Ness, Willie Mays, jerseys just to kind of show that love after meeting Willie Mays. But Willie didn't show. So there was no Giant love after that. So. Oh, really? Nice. And also meeting Tom Landry. So is Tom Landry like the most famous person that you ever met? Yeah. I mean, I haven't really met too many people. I met Tony Dungy at a Duck game when Tony Dungy's son was there, and I was sitting in the parent section, and obviously all the parents have the name of their son, on their like custom jersey because obviously Oregon gives out custom jerseys to the parents, so it'll be like Mama Dungy, or Papa Dungy, or it'll just say Dungy on the back, and obviously we were sitting in the same row except he was like 4 or 5 seats over. But when we went to go up at halftime, I was shoulder to shoulder with Tony Dungy. And at this point, he already was out, did the Buccaneer thing, won the Super Bowl with Peyton, and he was on TV. But he flew in for his son, which was like, he was like fourth string wide receiver back then. And I had a little conversation with him, but I didn't want to be annoying. I didn't want to be that guy. Can I get your autograph? Can I get a photo? Can I get a picture? I didn't want to be that guy. But we just, I was dating a different girl at that time, this girl Jasmine, and she had her son Aristeo, and he had no father figure, no father in his life. So I was pretty much raising this boy with no father from like 7 years old to 12 years old. And I brought him to his first Duck game. And I remember holding his hand and then looking up at him and saying, "Hey, this is Tony Dungy, the Buccaneer coach that I was talking to you about." You know what I mean? He's on TV now. And then Tony leaned in and said, "Oh, you don't really believe him, do you?" And then he laughed and whatnot. We shared a little chuckle and whatnot. But Tony Dungy was a very cool class act guy. So Ken Griffey Jr., Sandy Koufax, Tony Dungy. Those would probably be the three like closest experiences that I had. But again, and the crazy thing is, when I was at the Duck game, almost nobody recognized him. I don't know if everyone was drunk or popped up one away, but Tony Dungy looks like a fucking alien. He's got a very unique head shape and look. Like, when you look at Tony Dungy, that's Tony Dungy. But for whatever reason, a lot of the Duck fans must have been just hammered because they didn't recognize him. I initially looked over and I was like, holy shit, that's Tony Dungy. And then we were like shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, and we were like in the front row. So we were walking up like 80 rows of steps. So I actually got to talk to him for about 2 minutes, which was pretty cool. But I wasn't gonna like follow him to like bathroom or concessions. I didn't want to be that guy. But I ended up having that memory. So Brandon in the building. What's good? JP Crawford in the box. 66 subs to go to 20,000. Let's go. I'm going to look at the standings right now, which I already know that we are not in first place anymore. The Astros took the spot. $79 and 61. Seattle's 1 game behind. Texas is 2. We're 77 and 61, and the Rangers are 76 and 62. So that doesn't surprise me because, like I told you guys before, whether I like the Astros or I hate them, or I love Altuve or I hate him, or dislike him a lot, the Astros are the only team in the American League that can win the World Series this year, period. There's no one else I think that can do it. Now, can another team get there and win 1 or 2? Yeah, but who's the only team that could win 3 or 4 against the Braves? I think it's Houston. I think that's it. And obviously, if I was incredibly biased, I wouldn't say some shit like that, but I think that's the truth. Yeah, it was painful. We were up 6-3. And then Martini came in off the bench and then hit her a 3-run homer. Kind of like how Dom did for us a few games back. tied at 6-6, and I already knew we lost. I was like, we're going to lose in extras or whenever the next inning, and that's exactly what happened. And then we ended up losing 7-6. So sometimes when you have a big play like that, you can feel the momentum, and like it's like Mortal Kombat, like Kano in Mortal Kombat 1. Finish him. And he like rips out your heart, right? And it's still beating, right? That's exactly what happened in the Mariners last night with Martini. Finish him. Fatality. Fatality. Animality. All three of them. We just lost. It sucked. We're in the top of the sixth, 7-2 Mariners. 3-2 count. He's beat the Blue Jays. Oh, nice. But, at least I'm real about it. I don't think any other Mariner fan would really say something like that. But again, even though I'm not the biggest, Astros supporter and I don't like Altuve, you have to look at the team and how it's built. Verlander is back. JP just struck out, but you got guys that I really, really like. Like Altuve, I don't like, but Yordan Alvarez, beast. My favorite player on the team, Kyle Tucker, beast. Maybe one of the most underrated player in baseball, right? Who else is on the roster? Oh, Jeremy Pena, beast. So they got, a lot of guys that are there. There's a few others that are on the squad that are very, very good as well. So, they don't have just like one or two guys. I mean, they have many, many pieces. And, Dusty Baker is a good manager as well. So, they have the experience. And again, I feel that they're the only team that could win 3 games or more, which would mean they would take it to game 7 or win 4. And then the Braves win 3. Like they're the only team I feel like. Do I think the Orioles and the Rays and the Mariners and the Rangers and the Blue Jays have talent? Yes, but they only have talent enough to win maybe 1 or 2. I think that's the honest truth. I don't know if there's anyone that could win 3 or 4 against the Braves besides Houston. And they have the World Series experience and the swagger. Yeah, did they cheat? This and that? Yeah, garbage cans, Apple Watch is fine. But as we think, they didn't cheat last year and they won. So you can't really say that they've been cheating every single year, kind of like the Patriots. Like they did their cheating, they did their shit, and then now they're trying to move on because they know the eyeballs are on them, And then they prove, as we hope, that they, won a World Series without cheating last year. So 7-2 Mariners. Anything that you want to see reflect for a photo for your donation? Let's get those likes up as well. We're only at 11. We need to get that up, man. We need to at least try to get that shit to 20. Like 20 likes or more needs to be like a standard, regardless of how many people that we got. Takes fucking 1 second, especially when you get people that come here every fucking day, and they watch every fucking day on Twitter or YouTube. I mean, the least you can do if you're not going to sub to me, at least like the stream. Like I said, if you like it, I mean, I know if you sub to a channel, you have to love it, and then obviously the thing that you can do to show the most respect or love is to donate. I get that. But, like the stream at the very least, if you're not going to share it or sub or donate, it doesn't take a whole lot of effort. It takes fucking 1 second. But if you do sub, obviously it'll help us get to that 20,000 mark, and we only need 66. That's it. 66 subs to 20,000, and I will do a giveaway. So that means that if you do sub, you will be in the running to possibly get a jersey or something of that nature from me. So that's a good incentive. De La Cruz, throw to first. Got him. De La Cruz is so smooth out there. Some Ricky Henderson. All right, let's do it. And then with the Ricky Henderson, what do you want to see Ricky in? What team do you want to see the Ricky Henderson photo in? Are we talking like athletics? Are we talking, what are we talking? I'll give you kind of a current, photo. I'll give you an old school photo. Ricky was on quite a few teams. Let's go. Dave Henderson, nice. Hunter Green with the COVID. Yeah, I want the location reflected Sisters and Brothers. That's in Seattle, and they got the Nashville hot chicken. They actually have a famous photo that's autographed by Dave Henderson that they've moved from location to location as they've upgraded their restaurant. And I actually took a picture of it when I was there. Let me see if I can find it, and I can send it to Sarah, and then she can post it. Here it is. It's very cool. You're gonna love it. And it's him in a Mariner uniform. Check out this bad boy. All right, I just sent it to her. I'll pull it here. But anytime I go to like a restaurant in Seattle, if I go eat at some place, I'm always looking for like memorabilia on the walls or a story from the owner. You know, look at this one. Look at that. And I believe the kid might be the owner of the actual location. That's fucking cool, huh? Like vintage, vintage. And obviously the owner, Jake, with the autograph there too. Pretty sweet. Kind of funny that you brought that up. It's like almost it was like meant to be. That's because normally that name doesn't come up. I mean, I can always name drop for days because of all the cards and the memorabilia that I've collected. You know what I mean? Like the Dave Stewart and the Carney Langsford and the Walt Weiss. Like I remember even like the lower name guys just because I was such a crazy person, a freak about the cards and whatnot. But not a lot of people remember him, in Seattle unless you like watched back then or had a memory and whatnot. But I remember like going through the location. And that was one of the coolest things that they had. Now they have like all these like vintage toys and bobbleheads and all kinds of stuff like on top around circulating the whole location. So when you go in there, they have like crazy stuff. Like they have like a toy collection like mine, but it's all like on the covering all in like the surrounding near the ceiling, and it wraps around the whole bar. And the owner's got I don't know how much money in collectibles up there, but I would say probably 5 to 10 grand worth of just like collectible toys and baubles and shit like that. And a lot of it's like old, and some of it is just like you know, not even sport related. Like they got like Bart Simpson shit up there that's like from the 80s and very, very cool, like pop culture nostalgia stuff as well as sports mixed in. It's very cool. Bottom of the sixth, 7-2 Mariners. Bottom of the sixth. Runner at first, one out, 0-2 pitch. Come on, Logan. That was a terrible throw by Cal. 9 Ks for Logan Gilbert. Let's go. But that photo is the coolest one that I've seen as far as an autograph and a vintage photo. I've never seen anything doper than that as far as Dave Henderson. I've seen a lot of like A's stuff, but not as cool as that. I mean, Mariner stuff is going to be way more rare too. Like you got to think, how many Mariner things did he actually sign back then? Not a lot. Pitches outside, 2-2 count. Thank you. Dawn, did you just sub to the channel? 19,935. Thank you so much. 65 subs to go. I appreciate you. I assume that's what done meant. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Dawn. We're getting there. Wayno, I know you got mad at Wayno this year because sometimes he did okay and other times he looked terrible. So 7-3 now. Come on. Stevenson single to center and Carcion Strand to second. And Carcion Strand single to left. De La Cruz scored 7-3 Reds. Come on now. Yeah. I mean, if you go to Sister, have you ever been there before? Reflect Sisters and Brothers, the Nashville Hot Chicken. If you're in Seattle and you go to a game, stop by there. I don't know if you like chicken or not, or I mean, you don't have to get it like hot or whatever, but it's a cool establishment to go to. And they had an older location that was kind of a little bit more run down, and then they moved to a bigger location and whatnot. So, new sub, thanks for all your live content. No problem. I do reaction videos and I do everything: baseball, basketball, football, hockey, NASCAR. Wrestling, AEW, WWE, and then reaction videos for college football and NFL. So a little bit of everything. And I do it full time. So I appreciate you very, very much, Don. Thank you. Really, it's one of the most famous places in Washington, the Sisters and Brothers. Like I would drive 3 hours and 30 minutes to eat there. I know I never would say that about anything else, but they have like good chicken and waffles, and they have different levels of the Nashville hot chicken with the spices. Here, I don't know. I'll show you a photo. Obviously, I take photos of shit when I'm there, but like I'll follow them on social media. And I told them, I was like, bro, I'm the dude that, normally I'm going to like a Mariner game and whatnot, but. And then they have bacon, mac and cheese homemade, right? And then they have like bacon, but they've made it different over the years. Let me see. Because I went with back in like 2018, 2019, my buddy was a Bronco fan. So we got to see Von Miller, and we had like was it front row or second row seats to the Broncos and the Seahawks behind the Bronco bench. And then we ended up going, to this location, and then they ended up moving. But take a look at this photo and tell me this doesn't look like the most amazing meal. Hold up. I mean, like the chicken, it was not KFC or Popeyes. Like it had layers to it. It was crispy, juicy, savory, hot. I've never had chicken prepared like that, and it is a little expensive of a meal. Like if you get some chicken and then like mac and cheese and like a beer, and it's like between two people, you might drop like $50, 50 to $60, but it's so worth it. Let me show you. But just look, and you know how I bring up food photos sometimes as well. But check this out. It literally is the best meal I might have ever had in my life. I mean, you don't even have to be stoned or drunk to enjoy it. But of course, if you are, then it'll be good. But I had a Rainier tall boy, to have the experience there, right? With this Nashville hot chicken. And I think they have 4 levels, and I think I did number 1. And it was crazy. It was making me sweat, but it was like in a good way. And then they have the mac and cheese, like organically, like obviously just like custom made. But look at this. Tell me, like, look at like the chicken itself, like the glistening and everything, and then you get the mac and cheese with the bacon. Now they are a little bit cheaper, and they don't use as much a big bacon pieces. It almost looks like sausage or bacon pieces that look a little different. But I mean, talk about 10 out of 10, amazing. And then I think they had like chili cheese fries as an appetizer that we did, and then the mac and cheese with the bacon, and then you get like 3 strips of the chicken, and then you get a big Rainier beer. Um, Incredible. Literally, probably the best meal of my life that I've ever had. So let me see if I have a photo of what the chicken looks like now, or not the chicken, but the. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Seven three Marinez, 2-1 count. Runners at first and second, 1 away. You got Brash in the game. Come on, Brash. Uh-oh. Fucking Brash. Damn it. Stop at third. Here's another one. So this is what it looks like now. As far as like the mac and cheese, so it's like it's still good, but it's when the original one that I had was the best. So you look at what the bacon looks like, right? So crispy, so delicious, and then this is what it is now, unless you ask for a special request, and it's still good. And now look at the top of the mac and cheese. So it's like you got these pieces that are like a little bit thicker, and it's delicious. It looks good, But I mean, if you want a good meal, that's where you go. But that's the original, though, the OG. It'll never be better than this. I mean, I can't even tell you. The mac and cheese was the best mac and cheese I've had in my life with that bacon, the way they prepared it, and then the chicken. And then this one was still good, too. You know what I mean? It was like going from a 10 to like a 9.5, so it's like no complaining there. So, yeah, sisters and brothers. But if you have a chance to go, when you go to Seattle, go there. It's incredible. Like I said, it's the only place. I live in Oregon. It's the only place that I would literally drive 3 hours or more to eat only. Go to Flavortown. So sorry to hear that, Candace. Hope you get better. Hope you feel better. 7-3 Marinez, bottom of the 6th, bases loaded, 1-2 count with 1 out. Come on, Brash. I need to throw a photo up. But I always got to like share a little bit of a little bit of me. Big swing and a miss, got him. 2 away. Come on, Brash, let's go, baby. I mean, especially if it's Flavortown and food, that's like one thing some people like to vacation, and they like to go to like amusement parks or like they go to like sporting events or wrestling or sightseeing. For me, I would like to be able to go on vacation and just go, if I get rich, one day, I just want to be able to go places to go eat and go to Flavortown, like go to like Nolans and go eat like po' boys and gumbo and anything that they got there, stay there for a day or two and just eat until I can't and then just fly back. I don't even need to go to a Saint game or anything like that. I just want to go places and go eat. Fly to Maine, eat the lobster and crab, and then fly back. Like that's what I would do. So yeah, but I've never had chicken prepared like that. Like it's like anything you've ever had from KFC or from Popeyes or any mom and pop. Literally to me, it's the best chicken spot in the Pacific Northwest overall, and it's in Seattle. So it's very good. And when you get it, you can't get the naked version. You have to get at least the 1. Like if you go get the 4, you're just going to be sweating profusely. But even if you don't like spicy that much, do the 1. The naked version is still good, but you want to be able to feel alive and get a little bit of spice in your life, you know? Little chopper. Throw to second. There we go. Well, at least we hold them to 7-3. End of the sixth inning. Let's go to the top of the seventh. 7-3 Mariners. All right, next up for the Mariners, 2 for 2 with a run, an RBI, and a base on ball. Big dumper catcher Cal Raleigh. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a K. Right fielder Teoscar Hernandez. And batting third, 0 for 3, left fielder today, Dominic Canzone. Let's go, baby. Thank you to everyone that has hit the like button or sub to us. We're 65 subs away from 20,000. So anything that you can do if you're in the room, if you enjoy me, the people in the room, the broadcast, the thumbnail, whatever it may be. Like I said, 65 subs away. I mean, I've been doing this for 11 years. I've been on YouTube for 7, and it took me 10 years to go full time, which was last January. So as we go into January, I'll be full time for 2 years now. It's taken a lot of effort, a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, and a lot of tears. So even if you can't donate, or you don't want to, I mean, if you can hit the like button, hit the sub button if possible, that'll really help us out. It really mean a lot. So I've definitely put in a lot. And also on top of that, I sacrificed a PSA 9 Michael Jordan rookie card that's worth $20,000 to $30,000 for this dream. So if that's not sacrifice, I don't know what the fuck is. And that's big facts. I mean, not many people have even seen a Michael Jordan rookie card, let alone actually owned one. And I owned it from 2003 all the way to 2017. So I had it for 14 years. But then when I bought it on eBay, I won an auction with 50 other people, and I bought it for $1,000 when it was worth 2,500 in 2003, LeBron's rookie year, when it ended up, where the economy was kind of shitty at that time. And then now it's worth 20 to 30,000. And then when he dies, it'll be worth 100 to 120,000. So obviously, I could have used that for a house down payment, a Lambo, or invested in something, not crypto. And yeah, so that's a little background with me. I mean, you ain't gonna see anything prettier than this in your entire life. And I'm not talking myself. Because a lot of times you get people like as kids or as adults when they front and they lie. They say, "Oh, I had a Michael Jordan rookie. Oh, I had a Michael Jordan rookie." Like, people lie all the time, but this is the real deal, Holyfield. You can go to my Instagram too and take a look at it. But here, I'll show you a photo here. And look at the centering of the Jordan that I had. Look at that mint 9. I mean, that should have been a 10. And the crazy thing is the Jordan is worth 20 to 30,000. The Clyde is worth like 60 to 100. So $100 for the Clyde Drexler rookie, 20 to 30,000 for the Jordan, and I sacrificed that for this YouTube dream. So big commitment for me. I'll get another Jordan rookie before I die. But definitely was one of those things that was tough to let go of for sure. And if I didn't have dreams or goals, I would have never got rid of that. Not something that was worth 2,500 when I got it for 1,000, then sold it for 6,000 or 7,000 for equipment, and then now it's worth 20 to 30,000. It's going to be worth over 100,000. A piece of cardboard. Come on. Pitch is low. 3-2 count. Yeah, we need some goats to come in the room. 95 to go. Top of the seventh, 7-3 Mariners. 3-2 pitch. Chop foul. I need to go grab my drink here real quick. Give me a sec. All right, I'm back. All right, come on, T. Oscar. Let's go, Teo. Top of the seventh, 7-3 Seattle. Runner at first, 1-0 count. Check swing, got him. 1-1 count. Yeah, is there anything that we can do? Let us know. Yeah, mental health is very, very important too, and it's okay not to be okay. Obviously, I've gone through depression and anxiety and gone through a lot of things, and just trying to be able to find a proper support system, whether that's get outside and take a walk, listen to some music, talk to some friends. There's always going to be something that you can do to try to help out the situation. So, little boy dropped his mitt. They're out and towards the first baseline. Top of the seventh, 7-3 Seattle. No outs, runner at first, 1-2 pitch, check swing, 2-2 count. Oh, you're still doing the Reno, Nevada thing for your Walmart? Pitch is low, 2-2 count. Are you just getting homesick and you just want to go back to California? Or you're just dealing with kind of questionable people that you have to be around? 3-2 pitch. Walked him. There we go. Cal on base. Teoscar on base. Next up, Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. Let's go, baby. Nothing like mango madness from the freezer. Freaking delicious. Oh my God. Oregon just released their uniform combo against Texas Tech on the road. Chrome fucking helmet and white top and white bottom with white cleats and white socks. Oh my God. White jersey with the apple green. Oh my God, it looks good. Yeah. Well, I was with two different girls for 15 years and I wasn't treated right in 15 years. So I understand how that goes. Sometimes you got to be able to get out of a toxic thing. Easier said than done, though. People hate change. Dave in the building. What's good? Who's got that Nike money? The Ducks? Oh, they're nice, man. I mean, wearing that white with that apple green and the chrome helmet. Oh, baby. Got dressed to impress. Look good, feel good, play good. Hell, Primetime said it, not me. It's going to be a tough one. We could lose, too. Texas Tech isn't great, but on the road, The Ducks don't have a defense, so our offense has to be clicking early and often. Oregon State, Washington, USC, Utah, Colorado. I mean, there's 6 teams that are just incredible. NL wildcard standings: Phillies, Cubs, Reds. That's crazy. And the Reds have a shitty, real easy schedule with a bunch of shitty teams after the Mariners, where the Reds could make the playoffs as a wild card. Popped up, 2 away. Come on, Gino. Calvin in the building. What's good? Calvin, I don't think I have you on social. Do we follow each other on Twitter or on Instagram at all? Because I was trying to message you and whatnot. But you know how I watch all kinds of sports, and I follow the Saints very, very heavy. And when we did our fantasy football draft, right, you were like, Juwan Johnson, you got to draft him right now. Juwan Johnson. Guess who got Juwan Johnson? Yo boy, Mark Andrews and Juwan Johnson, baby. I got him into the second to last pick, probably one of the best value picks in the entire draft. Yo boy, how are you doing, brother? No, Calvin's not in the building, or Shep is not in the building, Calvin. So you guys can't go back and forth with Georgia, Bama stuff or Falcon Saint stuff right now. 8-3, baby. Let's go. Nice job, Ty. Nice job, Ty. Nice clutch hit. Nice little RBI there. Yeah, but I already knew I was going to have a good draft, but I definitely was a little, I don't want to say scared, but normally I don't pick my first running backs in the 4th and 6th round, but it ended up working out for me. I wanted to go for, I didn't want Najee Harris or ETN. I was like, okay, in the 3rd round, I mean, I could have went that route, but I was like, no. So I went Jay Jetta 1st round, Ahmad-Ra, St. Brown 2nd round, and then I went Mahomes 3rd round, and then everyone followed with quarterback after that. Then I ended up going Ramondre Stevenson, and then back to back with Mark Andrews, and he's like the 7th best running back, and then kept going from there. So you won't have any socials until you're okay. Cool. Once you do, make sure you message me or follow me so that way I can follow you back and I can send you Saint stuff and Bama stuff or sports stuff, back and forth. We can talk. So. Yeah. Yeah, and also a lot of times I don't think people. Well, I'm a Duck fan, so I know Juwan Johnson is a wide receiver converted into a tight end. And I'll support your anime stuff too. So anything that you want me to share or whatever, I'll like it. I'll share it. I'll help you out. The press, Mr. Matt in the building. What's good? Yeah, but I got Mahomes, Ramondre Stevenson, Rashad White, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Mark Andrews, Keenan Allen at the flex, Eagles D, Carlson, the number 1 kicker, and then my bench is Bills D, Mike Evans, David Montgomery, and I got Jamal Williams from your Saints, Gabe Davis, Juwan Johnson from your Saints, and then I picked up Sam Laporta because I had to block Reflect since he had Kelsey, and obviously Kelsey, got hurt and whatnot. So I have to make sure I'm doing my due diligence. My last pick was Daniel Jones, and I could have picked, Goff or Kenny Pickett or Jordan Love with like the 3rd to last pick, but I wanted to keep, stacking chips at the end. So I decided to go Gabe Davis, Juwan Johnson, Daniel Jones, drop Daniel Jones and picked up Laporta so that way I could block essentially and also make sure I have 3 tight ends, which is very crucial to be successful in fantasy. So do you want a receiver posing as a tight end? Yeah. But reflect, I told you who to pick. And I gave you a chance if you would have put in the wire last night or even woke up this morning. I gave it a few hours. I was going to message you, but again, I'm trying to win the championship. I was like, hey, he's still sitting there. I'm going to grab him. You better grab him. I'm going to grab him. I was thinking to myself, but at some point you have to be able to look out for yourself. And I want to drop Daniel Jones, not necessarily, but if I can get 3 tight ends, if Mark Andrews gets hurt, I got Juwan and I got someone that could be maybe a star. It's not often that you have a starting person left in fantasy just sitting there. And also, he's a rookie, so nobody knows what he's going to do. Can he be great? Is he going to be shitty? No one knows. But sometimes you got to take a chance. But again, he was like a second rounder, so obviously no more TJ Hawkinson, so he's the starter. So I was like, that made it real easy for me. I'm grabbing him. Goff, yeah. They're going to have a good year this year. Why not? So I did take your tight end though, but at least I was honest enough to tell you who to get. You know. Yeah. But in fantasy, you have to act right away. It's like a collector. Like if I see a toy or a card, like at a card shop or something, or an eBay auction, it's like if I don't pull the trigger now, right, I come back tomorrow, it's gone, and then I'll never see it again. Or maybe I'll see it down the road. So that's like kind of one of those things for me. If I see it and I want it, I get it. If I have the money to do it or whatever. All right, we're going to the bottom of the seventh, 8-3 Mariners. Oh yeah, I got Mike Evans on the bench, and like I said, I'm not even going to play him. Regardless if he's going to hold out or not, I think he'll still play. And of course, Baker Mayfield is terrible, but he's got to throw to someone. So Godwin and Evans will have good numbers, not Tom Brady to them numbers, but they'll have pretty good numbers. And obviously, I got the highest grade in the draft, but remember, I didn't even pick my running back until the 4th and 6th round. Last year, I had Justin Herbert, Jay Jetta, right? And then I had Nick Chubb, Saquon, and Josh Jacobs. But I wasn't able to get any of my running backs. I wasn't able to get Josh Jacobs, Saquon, or Nick Chubb. They were all gone. So after I picked, Justin Jefferson, and then it went Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 2nd round, I had a decision to make. Get a running back that I don't really like Etienne or Najee, right? Or to grab the best of something. So I was like, all right, I'm going to grab Mahomes. So that way I'm top heavy. And I'll figure out the running backs later. And then I ended up getting Ramondre and then Mark Andrews. And then again, and after that, I got Rashad White that was still sitting there, and Keenan Allen. And then everyone forgot that Eagles D was still sitting there after they picked all their Ds. I picked Bills D first, and then I swooped up the Eagles D. That was nice, and swooped that, and then Gabe Davis, Juwan Johnson, and Daniel Jones at the very end, who I dropped, and I just picked up Laporta. So, you got to have depth. So, yeah, but Kelsey ain't playing. Like I said, he's going to be out somewhere between 1 and 4 weeks. If it ends up being minor, 1 week or 2 weeks. If it ends up being a little bit more serious, it could be a month. So, yeah, but I don't plan on really using Mike Evans that often or Gabe Davis. But Juwan Johnson, Laporta, I'll be looking, and I'll definitely sprinkle in Montgomery with Gibbs and also Jamal Williams with no AK-41. Like I might start Jamal Williams over Keenan Allen at my flex possibly, just because I know he's going to score. Like I said, they don't have Alvin Kamara, so they're going to give him the ball, and they're going against the Titans. Even that's the Titans, but he'll be able to score on them, and it's at home. So it's either going to be Jamal Williams at my flex or Keenan Allen. They're both going to do good. So, yeah, and Juwan Johnson was like the 7th best tight end last year. He got really, really hot, at the middle of the year to the end. Beginning, not so much, but like I said, sometimes you have to, look at the stats and open up the player profile. Little chopper, JP, one away. There we go. Seven two Cardinals. 11-1 Marlins? No way. Wow. All right, Gabe is in. Come on, Gabe. I like Gabe. There's not a lot of guys on Los Bomberos that I like, but I do like Gabe. Dark time in the building. What's good? Well, we're one game behind, so we're going to be tied if we win this game, which we will. We're not getting swept by the Reds. It's sad that we could have swept the Mets and the Reds and kind of gained some ground, but we lose 2 out of 3 to the Mets, and we only win 1 out of 3 versus the Reds. And we remember we got the Dodgers, right? We also have the Astros and the Rangers at the end of the year as well in the regular season. Not ideal. I have the schedule here too. So we got Tampa Bay tomorrow. So Rays for 4 games. That's not going to be easy. Then we got Angels for 4 games, Dodgers for 2, no 3. Then we got Oakland for 3, Texas for 3, Houston for 3, and then Texas for 4 at the end of the year. So if we're really going to find out who we really are, if we deserve to be in the playoffs or not, how we finish at the end of the year. But it's not going to be like, oh, we're just playing shitty teams. Like almost every team we're playing is a playoff team besides Oakland. So that's rough. Tampa Bay, Oakland, and the Angels are not playoff teams, but we got Tampa Bay, we got fucking Texas, we got fucking the Dodgers, Houston, and then Texas again. But I guess that's better than having to play Houston twice. That we played Texas twice, and they've been struggling. So bottom of the seventh, 8-3 Mariners. Mariners do up Dylan Moore, J.P. Crawford, and Julio Rodriguez. Julio's 0 for 4 today after having 2 homers yesterday. Strike 3, Gabe. There we go. We're 65 subs away from 20,000, baby. 65. It's going to get exciting once we get to like 50 and then like 25. Then I'm going to get really excited. And then hopefully at some point we can have like a little bit of support based off like the algorithm, or have it be recommended. And then once we end up having like 50 to 60 people in the room, for a stream, at that point you might end up having 40 or 50 subs just from one stream alone if you have like that 50 or 60 people in the room. So sometimes all it takes is one big stream to gain some ground on the sub count. So little chopper, De La Cruz, JP. See you later. All right, here we go. Dylan Moore, J.P. Crawford, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, Dylan. Let's go, Dylan. Maybe if we do something new with Dylan, that he'll get a hit. Yeah. Rangers' confidence just went all the way down the shitter as far as confidence wise. But again, you got to remember, they started off hot, and then right before the All Star break, they had like a 9 to 10 game losing streak. Then they got past the All Star break, and then had another one. That's rough. Like the Mariners are having a rough stretch, but we're not having a rough stretch like the Rangers. So every Mariner fan that's depressed or pissed, like relax. We're not as bad as them. They're an elite team that's really struggling. So we're just having some bumps in the road. So goats. Where are you? 95 to go. Takes a strike. Top of the eighth, 8-3 Seattle. One pitch to Dylan. Big swing and a miss. 0-2 count. Where when Dylan Moore gets behind 0-2, it's over. He ain't getting a fucking home run or a hit. You get down 0-2 when you just get into the game. You know, you're batting 217 with 7 homers, 17 ribbies. He's out. Oh, crazy foul ball there. Nice that we actually, it looks like we're going to win this game. Glad that we ended up getting that early lead, and we ended up hitting that magic number too. 8 runs and 9 hits. That's exactly what we want, and some home runs. And Ford started that momentum for us in the first 2 innings. Ford homered, Crawford homered, Raleigh homered, and then France with a nice RBI. I mean, 3 home runs in a game for the Mariners is beautiful. Mason Wynn did nice. There we go. Did he actually get the ball back? And obviously, we'll be covering the Chiefs and the Lions tomorrow. But I'll follow the Mariner game as well. So what time the Mariner game is on tomorrow? Mariners are on at 3:40, so that'll be on early before about an hour and a half before the NFL game. Popped up, 2 away. Nothing out of Dylan Moore or JP. But at least we got that home run out of JP earlier. I love that. Next up, Julio Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. Nice. Yeah, sometimes it's tough, you know what I mean? Like, you just have to be right there by the first base dugout. You get there early enough. Usually they're going to sign for kids first, but if you're middle-aged or an adult, like you could still end up getting, something autographed or some type of memorabilia. I mean, I got a Julio rookie foul ball that I got when they played the Royals and Bobby Witt Jr. I would like to be able to take that to the game and have Julio sign it. But I got a couple Julio autographs on cards. I got a BGS 9.5, and I got a another PSA Julio. So I got 2 Julio autos already. Julio, foul. Everyone wants that Julio foul ball. Ty France and Bryce Miller. So did you get Ty France and Bryce Miller, or you didn't get anybody? Like you were close, but you couldn't get anybody, or you did get Ty France and Miller? Pitch is low, 3-2 count. Julio popped up. Damn it. Julio not homering in 3 straight games. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th. Nice that we finally have a lead and Mariner fans can actually smile again. All right, next up for the Reds, 0 for 3, left fielder Nick Martini, who ended up being the hero last night with a pinch hit 3-run homer. Batting second in the bottom of the 8th, 1 for 3, Christian Encarnacion Strand. And batting third, 1 for 3, catching for Cincinnati, Tyler Stevenson. Jordan Walker, Mason Wynn. Nice. I'm very interested because I know you had Josh Allen last year, Sarah, with like the Bills. I'm very interested to see how that offense works. If they drafted Dalton Kincaid, right? Dawson Knox's value went down the shitter, right? You got Gabe Davis and you got Diggs, but you really, I mean, besides Allen and Diggs, you're going to get production there. But as far as like Kincaid and Gabe Davis, you don't know. And obviously, Dawson Knox is not even worth having in fantasy. So it's like, what are we actually going to get out of Gabe Davis and Dalton Kincaid? Because depending on if Gabe Davis doesn't get the targets, and because he only had a couple good games last year, so that'll make me evaluate to decide: do I want him? Is he going to have the big year this year that he was supposed to have last year, or do I just cut him and I'll let one of y'all deal with him? Because I'm never going to play him. I just have him on as like a reserve, just in case. Especially if I got him on Raw, Jay Jetta, Keenan Allen, and Mike Evans. Like there's not going to be a scenario that I play him, at all, unless I have injuries, right? But I mean, again, if you're not really putting up good stats, you're putting up like 6 double-digit numbers in like a 17 year season. That's not good enough for me to keep you. Like he's a name as a wide receiver too with that Bills offense, but he had a few games for you early, but he kind of faded. After the first like month and a half, 2 months, and his numbers really weren't that good after like the first month and a half. They kind of went downhill. So I'm very curious. I decided to take a chance and grab him with like the third to last, pick. But yeah, I'm wondering, it's like, do I keep him? I'm going to hang on to him for a little bit and then see. But I always have to assess value for each of my guys. So he could be good, but he could also bust this year as well. I guess we just have to see how Josh Allen's offense flows. And they may not be that good this year. The Bills may not win the division. Maybe the Jets win. Maybe the Dolphins are a little bit better, I would say if there's one team that take a step back this year, it's going to be the Buffalo Bills. But they're still going to be fun to watch and they're still going to score points. It's just like how many? And what is that O line and defense going to look like? Is it going to be good or is it going to be like dog shit? So, and I hope they're halfway decent on the defensive side because hell, I have the Eagles and the Bills D. If I didn't think that the Bills D would do anything, I wouldn't have picked them up. So, but they were the fifth rated D last year. So, well, Braves coming back. All right, bottom of the eighth, 8-3 Mariners. Did you end up watching Dynamite, Sarah? Pitch on the corner for a strike, 1-2 count. No, you didn't watch it. 1-2 pitch, little chopper. The flip to JP, double play, got him. God damn, let's go. Dylan Moore to JP, that was fucking beautiful. I love defense. Nice job, JP. Nice job, Dylan. Oh, it's not a might win. We are going to win. We're up by 5, and the momentum has been in our favor since the second inning. There's no way in hell, even if our pitching just goes down the shitter, there's no way in hell they're going to come back 5 runs. They could still score 1-3, but they're not going to get 5. Not happening. Not today. Momentum is in our favor. Not after they already won, fucking 2 games, and they shouldn't have even won last night. Little chopper. Come on, Topa. Got to make up for that goddamn Martini home run from yesterday. Like I said, no matter who we got in the bullpen or the starting pitching, guys are going to fuck up. Guys are going to give up, big runs, big home runs, big ribbies, big plays. You just how do you respond the next day? There we go. All right, let's go to the top of the ninth and get some more insurance. All right, due up for the Mariners, 3 for 3, 2 runs, RBI, and a base on ball. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting second this inning, 1 for 3 with a base on ball and a K. Right fielder, Teoscar Hernandez. And we got to get Dom going. He's been in a little bit of a slump. Playing left field today, 0 for 4, Dominic Canzone. Come on, Dom. I love you. Come on, my guy. You're too good to go 0 for 4. I know you're a rookie and you're kind of hitting the wall right now, but even a single would be great. Get your batting average up a little bit. So, big facts. I mean, especially if we're playing you over other guys like Haggerty or Dylan Moore or Cade Marlowe. Come on. Wow, 10-6. First person to greet Mason win. Jordan Walker. All right, here we go. I know I saw that. I did see that. But you know what? That could be something that could possibly work out. And this is just me. You can do whatever you want, but you may want to drop another player and get another tight end. That way you have options because who knows how long Kelsey's going to be out, and you may not want to just have Conklin. You may want to be able to go back and forth with 2 guys. That's what I would do. But it all depends on who you have on your bench, who you're willing to get rid of or not. If you're not willing to get rid of anyone, then you're going to go with Conklin, right? And just then roll the dice. But if you got another guy that you would be willing to get rid of and someone else is there that you think that would help you, then having 2 might be better than 1. But it all depends on the value that you have on the bench. And obviously, if you got like Charbonnet, that might not be someone that you're willing to get rid of. But I know for me, if I need points now, having 2 tight ends or 3 tight ends, but one's injured is better than having 1, especially if Conklin shits the bed and gets like 2 points. But again, sometimes you have to go through that first game or 2 to see where you're at. So, Elliott in the building, Sauer in the building. What's good? Well, when Zach Wilson was riding him last year, he actually was one of the top 5 tight ends for like a couple weeks, where he was actually getting targeted by Zach Wilson and not Zach Wilson, but Mike White. Mike White was targeting him like a shitload. I remember like I was going to pick him up, or I picked him up for like a week or 2, and then I dropped him. But he ended up having some really, really good stats last year, or at least a few weeks. So we don't do trades. No trades in the league. So other leagues do trades, but I do it based on you have to be able to draft well and you have to pick up off the wire. I feel trades are kind of cheap because sometimes you get someone that trades like fucked up and then they just give away all their good players to someone so that person can make the playoffs and whatnot. So to be able to prevent that from happening and having like bad trades go through, I do no trades in the league ever. I've never done trades, so unfortunately, no trades. No trades. LOL. Yeah, the fine print. I'm gonna look right now to see what's available for you. Not a whole lot. Yeah. So at this point, there's nobody on there that I would like probably be like, oh my god, I got to get this person, type of thing. But one of those guys, Hayden Hurst, Herb Smith, Logan Thomas. Probably Logan Thomas is probably the best one that's left. But I don't think I would drop Charbonnet or whatever for him if you already got Conklin. You're going to roll the dice and you hope that he gets you something, and then hope that Kelsey comes back in week 2. So, man, you're crazy. 4-man. That's nuts. Yeah, that's true. Unless Aaron Rodgers goes down, unless Aaron Rodgers goes down, and obviously facilitates things, here and there. So nobody's dropping Charbonnet. Megan just came in. Who's dropping Charb? Not happening. Yeah. All right, let me look at your team. Lamar, Saquon, Henry, Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Kittle, Olave, Saints, Teague, Butker, Mixon, Fields, Goddard, Cooper, Brownsy, Elliott, and Hill. Yeah, you got a squad. But if it's 4-man, yeah, I mean you definitely got the squad there. Whose squad got rated the highest between you and your friends? I remember last year when Megan, you're like, Myers, he sucks. I was like, no, he doesn't. And I was like, watch, he's going to end up being great. And he was. Sometimes, you got to go deeper even on the players on your own team that you don't even think that are that good. And then you find out you got one of the top 5 kickers in the league last year that kind of came out of nowhere. And obviously, I recognized that early on before anybody else, and then rode him all the way throughout the whole season. And that's after I drafted Butker and he got hurt week 1, and I had to come up with somebody. Had Koo for a little bit, dropped him, and then got Myers. So obviously, if I pick Myers over Butker or Koo, that's saying something. And then now Myers is kind of known as a top 5 kicker moving forward, which is good. Your guys' offense is good. Of course, I knew you were going to try to go for Carlson. That's why I took him. I look to see what everybody does every single year. I always look. I always spy on everyone. I always look to see what everyone's doing. I always look at the numbers that everyone gets. And I already had that in my head that I was going to get Carlson no matter what, that I was going to snag him. Everyone else, if they want to be able to go get Justin Tucker and they want to go for the name recognition, I already went through all the kicker player profiles. So I already knew who the number 1 players were from quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defense. I looked at all that information the night before and in the morning. So the only people that knew that Carlson was the best kicker in the league for the last 2 years is you and me, and that was it. So I knew if I got him, you were going to try, but I had to get him before you did. So I'm no dummy. I saw what you did with him. I mean, I ended up going like 14-1 before we went to the playoffs, and you went like 13-2, and Carlson got you so many points last year. So I recognize those little things like that. And I know you were mad when I got him because you were like, ooh, I want him. So highest Burrow, McCaffrey, Chubb, Chase, Adams, Waller, Pollard, Tucker, Green Bay. Ooh. Oh, okay, Mick. I see him. Appreciate you. $20 holla. Thank you. And I'm excited that you're actually doing the league. And now you got one that's like way too many people, with Brandon in the 12s with the 18. and then you got this one with the 10, where you probably have more players that you get excited for since you actually have, Walker, DK, and Myers. I mean, that's exciting. So you get to enjoy watching Seahawks games as you always do, and then get excited to see what they do point wise in this league. And compared to how many players in the 18-man league do you have from Seattle? Just like Charbonnet, and that's it? Do you have just one player, or do you have more than one in the 18-man league? I appreciate you. Let me know what Seahawk players you want to see. I got you. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. 10. No. $20. I'm excited too. Oh, you weren't even done. Kelsey, Cup, Metcalf, and Dallas D. My goodness. Yes. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. 25 doll hairs, 75 to go. Charbonneau, Myers, and that's nice. You got Myers in both leagues. See, that's why it pays to watch NWSF when everyone doesn't know necessarily if a guy's going to be good or maybe he's going to be bad. I usually and especially if I pick them on my own fantasy team, and obviously that I think like very very highly of them. And so sometimes even being a fan of a team like the Seahawks and yourself, maybe not fully recognizing that Myers was better than you actually thought. And then as the year went on, you're like, damn, I was right. And then now, boom, you got him in both leagues. So I'm proud of you. Sometimes if me giving you that little information, and then realizing, oh shit, maybe this guy is just as good as a DK or a Lockett, or a Walker, even though he's a kicker, but he's valuable, and that's what it's about. Value, value, value. You need the value. What did you end up doing for running backs in that league? I don't think you ever got back to us with that. Did you end up finding out a trade or getting running backs for your team, or do you still have like 4 or 5 tight ends? I need to look at your team first, or you need to give me the information before I tell you yay or nay. Padres lost. I'm sorry, bro. All right, we're in the bottom of the ninth now. 8-3 Mariners. Come on, Munoz. Let me know what you want to do for photos. I got you. Big swing and a miss. 1-1 count. Come on, baby. Yeah. And you start to realize that sometimes when you draft, you got to look at your bye week. Like you don't want to have too many players with one same bye week. Otherwise, it's like you're almost going to automatically lose that particular week. So, Benson Homer to left center. Damn it. You got to be kidding me. JP with the out right there, and then Benson next with the homer. 8-4. I told y'all they were going to get 1 to 3 runs. There's one, but we're still going to win this game. Damn it. Yeah, definitely hang on to Cole Kmet. And then did you still have Higbee, or you don't have Higbee in this league? Well, Juszczyk is a fullback. And then Fant is obviously a backup, so you have Kareem Hunt, and then Kmet's a tight end, and then Juszczyk. Yeah, you're gonna need better. Like Toby in the building. What's good? There's that Benson homer. Wow. Yeah, you're gonna need so you have Kareem Hunt, so you have at least one running back. Now you got to find another one. You got to be able to trade a tight end or a wide receiver and try to get another running back in that league. I mean, especially if Kareem Hunt is like the only running back that you have that's halfway decent. You got to sacrifice some of the other positions that you have too many players of to try to be able to. Yeah, well, Komet's the tight end, and then Hunt's the running back. Yeah, I would probably hang on to those two and try to get rid of the others and try to find someone else that's halfway decent. So, but again, much easier said than done when it's an 18-man woman league and there's barely anything left on the wire besides backups. Backups of the backups. 8-4 Marinez with 2 outs. Friedel in the box. 2-0 count. Exactly. But he will be, but we just don't know where he's going to be. And then on top of that, you would assume that he'll be the backup wherever he goes, but he's good enough to get enough touches to at least get some points for her. You know, Kareem Hunt isn't a slouch. I mean, Kareem Hunt could probably start on 5 or 6 teams in the NFL right now. You know, maybe not every team in the NFL, but maybe 5 or 6, you know. And then obviously be a really good backup running back, one of the top 6. So, okay. All right. I'll get you some players. Maybe I'll sprinkle in a little coach and then a little players. I got you. All right, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 3 balls, 1 strike to Friedel. And he walked him. Munoz. That's why in fantasy you have to be able to understand it's not about necessarily name recognition. Sometimes it's just they're just talented, and you have to be able to find those gems. And that's why me not being biased has really helped me do very well in fantasy because I don't care what team the person is on. I mean, they could even be on the fucking the Cowboys or the Patriots, like the 2 most hated teams in football. But if I think the player is good, I'm going to grab them. I don't care. If it's either talent or you have talent or you don't. You're consistent or you're not. And consistency is the most important thing to me. So. All right, Steer, we're ahead of the count. 0-2, 8-4, Marinez, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 2 strikes, 2 outs, sinker for a ball. Come on now, end this game. No sweep for Cincinnati on us. No brooms. And obviously my footage is 1 batter behind that, but I'm just looking at the ESPN, the live look in. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. And usually I try to do that when we get to the end of the game. Because obviously you can hear the audio on my end that I'm always going to be like a batter behind based off the footage. So if it ends up being like the crucial point of the game, then I'll see the video, but I'm going to give you the live play-by-play on what's really happening live. And then I'll wait for the video to catch up once the game ends. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Steer in the box. Munoz on the mound. Come on now, let's end this game. There we go. Final score, Mariners rated 8, E for Cincinnati 4, and he struck him out. There we go. There we go, baby. Let's get some photos up here for Megan. And what happens when the Mariners end up winning a game and they don't get swept with the brooms? We dance, baby. Final score, Seattle 8, Cincinnati 4. Mariners win, Mariners win, Mariners win. We're tied with the Astros for first place in the American League West, baby. Let's go. All right, let's get some Seahawk photos for your dono. Avoided the brooms. Yes, we did. It's too late to play. I mean, like I said, the season starts tomorrow. If you're going to play fantasy football, you would have had to have played already, like did your draft already. So next year. Considering I picked him 2 years in a row with the first pick in the draft, amazing. To me, I think he's the closest thing to Jerry Rice that we're going to ever see. So Jerry Rice is going to be the best ever, right? But with Randy Moss, T.O., Megatron, and those guys that are typically after Jerry Rice, I actually think Justin Jefferson, when his career is all said and done, he will be the second best wide receiver of all time. I think he'll be better than T.O. number-wise. I think he'll be better than Randy Moss, better than Megatron, better than Larry Fitzgerald. I think it's going to go Jerry Rice, Justin Jefferson. And then obviously Jamar Chase is very, very good as well. But that's what I think. As long as he doesn't get hurt, Jay Jetta should be somewhere between 2, 3, 4, right there with T.O. and Randy Moss, and below Jerry Rice when it's all said and done. So that's a pretty big, big thing to say. If I didn't believe it, I wouldn't say it. So we got the Tampa Bay Rays for like a 4-game set. So starting tomorrow. So hopefully we don't get the brooms on us in that series. It's going to be tough. I have the schedule here. So the schedule, and I just went over it a couple minutes ago, but the schedule for us is Tampa Bay Rays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Angels for 3 games. Dodgers for 3 games. A's for 3 games. Texas for 3 games. Houston for 3 games. And then Texas to end the year for 4 games. So it's not going to be easy. But if we can beat up on Texas at the end of the year, that's what's going to get us the first place in the American League West. Big facts. Jason Myers, sleeper. I drafted Harrison Butker. He got hurt the very first game of the season, and I fucking dropped him. Said, fuck it, right? And then I ended up getting Koo for like a week. Then after that, I ended up getting Jason Myers, and then I used him the whole year, baby. When you know, you know. You got to find those sleeper players before they become a name, and that's what I did. And he was awesome last year. I mean, considering that, he was a no-namer at that point, like no one knew, but I look at tendencies, and if I can see that you're getting opportunities and you're not missing kicks and you're consistent, yeah, I'm going to grab you. And I kept him the whole year. Did not drop him. Once I got him, he was my kicker. Even over Koo and Butker. That's saying something. And that's what you got to do to be great at fantasy. You got to find guys, that are special before everybody else. Or you see them it's like once you see them popping off, then you're not going to get them on the wire. You have to find guys a week or 2 before they make their breakout game. Big facts. But again, most Hawks fans didn't even realize how good that he was. Like I said, and that's why, I don't have to be a Seahawk fan to understand talent. Like I said, I can even point things out to even Seahawk fans that are like, really? I'm like, yeah. So, I mean, if I can help you win money or help you win a league, obviously I'm not going to give anybody any misinformation. But that's the best part, being able to even teach a Seahawk fan, even though I'm not, something that they probably didn't even know. So, yeah, I was already going to get Amon-Ra no matter what. I was either going to get once the Jay Jetta went down, I was either going to get Amon-Ra or Garrett Wilson. And Garrett Wilson went in the first round. So someone stole Garrett Wilson from me, but I got Amon-Ra. So I already had my eyes set on those 2 players after Jay Jetta. So. And the cool thing is now the offense in Seattle is starting to be on the up and up. He's going to continue, being the man moving forward, which is kind of cool. And he's going to win you a lot of games. All right, I'll put some music on. It's always cool to give some kickers some love too. I love special teams, I love defense, and I love O-line. So anytime we can, shed a little light, on something like that, it's cool. These guys don't get a whole lot of love in pub, and it's cool to be able to, shout them out and give them that recognition. They deserve it. Think about how many games get decided by 7 points or less. A lot. But does the kicker get the love? Not usually. It's a cool photo of him and good old Pete there. Nice win by the Mariners. Let's go. Throw up some JSN for you. We'll give you a little thing. We'll still get you your old ball coach and whatnot. It's nice to be able to, and it's also kind of cool to be able to see players on the stream that we normally don't put on screen, you know, to give them that showcase and that love. I mean, do you think like any other, like a lot of streams, they don't even talk about, you know, offensive line or kicker or special teams that often. So somebody's got to do it, and I'm glad it's me. You know, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends are like the body of a car, like a Ferrari or a Lambo. But the offensive line and the defensive line, that's the gas. And if you got no gas in the Lambo, guess what? You ain't going nowhere. It's just something that looks pretty, just like quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. You know, but they got to be able to move. And that's the gasoline, which is the O-line and the D-line, baby. I'm going to throw up some Jake Bobo up, too. I'm really not surprised that he made the team. I already knew how good he was. Very cool. And being a Duck fan, that's why I watch so much college football. So when I heard the name Jake Bobo, I already knew instantly who that was. I was like, I already watched him go against the Oregon Ducks and watched him at UCLA with Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So the more college football you watch, the better fantasy player you're going to be, and the more predictions you're going to be able to get correct, you know, going forward. John in the building. What's good? Oh, you are the one that took the Garrett Wilson. See? So we both have the same thing in mind, you know? Yes, the Aussie punter too. But you got to think like how difficult it is based on who you have on your roster right now that Jake Bobo actually made the 53-man roster. A guy like that normally gets cut, right? Even if he's good or he's on the practice squad. So it really does show you like what they think about Bobo after actually drafting a JSN. You know, that's like, it's something that does not happen. Like it really doesn't. Very likable, and I think he'll be one of the fan favorites. He already is. I mean, I'm not a Seahawks fan, but I already know that because it's about production. You know, what are you going to bring to the table? And they don't give a shit. You know, if you're a first rounder or if you're undrafted, if you can produce, you're going to become a fan favorite. Period. And he did. And that's why preseason, you know, like I said, it does matter. Because like I said, if you didn't watch preseason, you would have never known about Jake Bobo. Like if you're just a casual Seahawks fan, you're like, who the fuck is this Bobo guy? And you're probably like making fun of him. And then the real fans are like, bro, did you watch preseason? Like Bobo is the truth. You know, that's the difference. You know, you either watch or you don't. And then you find gems along the way, like a Jake Bobo. Or like a Kenny Golladay when he was on the Lions in preseason when no one knew who he was. And I was like, this guy's going to be something. Jake Bobo. Bobo on the low. Watch out. Seahawks spinning logo's dope. And And that's why I feel I can vibe with any person of any age, of any race. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like I said, I do so much research and film, and, you know, I know what I see. And like I said, I don't discriminate. If I see talent, I don't give a shit where it's coming from. You know? And I just think it's such a cool story that he made it. You know, and if you hear how the teammates would talk about him over there, I mean, it was just raving. You know, like this guy is different. You know, like even DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are like talking to him. You know, like route running and like, you know, why he's so open and whatnot. So, you know, it's like little secrets that you can learn along the way from other players. You know, very cool. I mean, especially if DK and Lockett are actually asking questions and just trying to pick his brain a little bit. I mean, like how often is like veteran players ask some fucking rookie from UCLA like stuff? And that's why also too, being a USC fan, you know, you can't hate on UCLA players. Now they end up coming to the Seahawks and you have to root for them. So, you know, you can be a USC fan and have that rivalry, but also it's good to be able to have an open mind because you never know, you know, oh, fuck this guy, fuck that guy. And then all of a sudden the Jake Bobo's on your team and now you're rooting for him. You know, and he's a UCLA guy, not a USC guy. So that's what makes it kind of special too. And Sharps. Yep. If you watch, I mean, I watched Duck games, and I watched him, and I already knew what I was getting with him. I was like, oh man, I was like, this guy's got some little bit of some skills there. His thing is just going to be injuries. Can he stay like, you know, injury free? Can you stay healthy? That's the only thing that's gonna. And you already got rid of Penny, so that was already a good move. Get those people, you know, they're like, they don't know who he is. Like, oh, that's Zach Charbonnet. But the Penny experiment was terrible. Obviously injury prone, so it's just nice to get some new blood in there. And obviously now with Kenneth Walker III and Charbonnet, it feels good. It feels like, you know, a nice blend of new young talent, and you don't have to go backwards anymore. It's like it feels like you're moving in the right direction. I mean, these are collectively, you know, nice pieces moving forward. And obviously, Charbonnet is never going to be as good as Kenneth Walker. Never. I mean, if you watched him at Michigan State, you already know. I mean, he scored like 4 touchdowns on Michigan when he played in college in that rivalry game. Nobody does that to Michigan. So that should have been the eye-opener right there that this guy was a truth like Breece Hall. Like, you're like, oh, you're like, this never happens for Michigan State. And then he was like rumbling for like 200 yards and 4 tutties against Michigan. Yeah, and they are always top 5 in defense typically. At least at that time they were. So that was a big eye-opener. Not really for me, but I think probably for Seahawk fans and other fans, you know, or people that were unfamiliar with them. Yeah, Penny was a mistake. You know, like I said, some picks are good, but that was just a reach, and it never worked out. It just wasn't a good fit, and he just got injured way too much. And sometimes you got to live and you learn. Sometimes you draft well, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you make a great pick. Sometimes you fuck up and you make a terrible pick. You know. Pros, college. Well, yeah, this is year 2. It's just like the Mariners. The Seahawks and Mariners are literally at the same position. This is year 2 of, maybe a 4-year run, at least for the Hawks, of being like really, really good, right? Until like, free agency and everything else. And the Mariners, we're in year 2 of about a 15-year run where we're going to be really, really good. Obviously with football, a lot of players change contracts and, and hopefully after the 4 years is done, that you can maybe have a year off and then you'll get back to another 4-year run of being great. But again, most teams don't go like 8 years in a row of being great. It's like usually like if you're really good, 2 to 4 years in a row, then you have a setback or a draft. Some guys leave and go to new teams and you have to rebuild. And then if you're good and you have a good coach, then boom, maybe another 4-year stretch, you can get good again. So there he is. Yeah, I agree. Well, I appreciate you guys very, very much. I hope you enjoyed that like collage of photos that you did, obviously with your dono that you did, and we can see a little bit of players that maybe don't get a lot of love, like a little Jake Bobo action. Nothing better than looking at some rookies and have the nice little spinning logo. Oh, Charbonnet, your boy Pete. Can't forget about him. No problem. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that late dono. That helped us out tremendously. And again, we ended up getting the dub. Final score, Seattle Mariners 8, Reds 4. We avoid the sweep, but it's not going to get any easier because tomorrow we end up playing the Rays with like a 3 or 4 game set, but I'm going to be doing, obviously, the Chiefs and the Lions, and that will be tomorrow for the NFL kickoff. But I will monitor what's going on with the Mariners, obviously, tomorrow. And kickoff will be at 5:20 p.m. Pacific time. Can't wait. Lions and Chiefs. Now, I wish that Kelsey was playing, but it is what it is. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And hopefully we'll end up having a better dono day and better support tomorrow. We already know that the NFL market is oversaturated, and some of the big boys, take up a lot of those people. But again, we're going to grind and we're going to have fun. So I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatic. A final score of 8-4 for the Mariners, and I am out. Gang.